start. If you're on the East Coast, you're staying up for us. So we appreciate it. But wanted to get a look at the Denver Nuggets. Haven't had a chance to do that yet on the cast. And the Nuggets waxed the Lakers without LeBron James about a month and a half ago. But this time, both teams coming in at relatively full strength. We still got a few absences for the Nuggets.
And while there might be other teams with larger profiles, the Nuggets are currently have the second best record in the Western Conference, and it's an interesting matchup for both teams. Thankfully, the Nuggets have gotten some guys back from injury, so this is closer to full slate. But the big concern that I had with Denver, which and didn't end up being a factor too much in their elimination last year, was can they defend elite wing size, those bigger forwards? And LeBron James is a definitive part of that question if the Nuggets want to make it a long way. And I'm excited to see how Will Barton and company do. Also interested in always like seeing Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah, except he's not playing.
Oh shit,
Ankle sprain.
I forgot about that.
But Millsap is back. Still.
Yeah,
So
I saw him last.
So it'll be interesting to see. Presumably, he will get the assignment on Anthony Davis in the base lineup. But then who's going to guard LeBron James? Because Will Barton is out as well. I guess they'll probably go with Torrey Craig as their starting small forward. We'll find out in just a second here. So anything else that you're looking at here for this one?
Well, if it stays close enough to have crunch time, this is something you and I actually talked about in a Patreon mailbag that's going to come out. Already is out. Patreon.com/Duncan LaRue. This has not been the most robust LeBron crunch time offense team. And so can the Lakers generate looks? It is more about process than results for the Lakers, just like for any other team in a single game sample. But I want to see that. If the game is close enough, I'm going to be excited about it.
Yeah, take you around the league here. Brooklyn beat Toronto. Toronto scored only 91 points. Orlando in overtime beat their own terrible crunch time defense to win against Detroit 116-112. Big for, not that Detroit is in the mix, but any win that Orlando can get at this point is important for them. And let's see, what else?
Brooklyn snapping the streak.
Yeah, or Brooklyn.
Yeah, Toronto's.
Oh, the winning streak.
Streak.
Okay. Yeah, I had mentioned that. And then Memphis looks like they're going to take down Portland at home. Back-to-back losses on the road for Portland, for New Orleans, and now Memphis. Those are the teams that they are in competition with for the 8th seed. Probably going to lose. 12-point game with 4:21 left. So,
Lillard is one guy. If you had to kind of roll the dice on somebody to make that kind of comeback because of his ability, he can get there. But Memphis has had some really good second unit play in this game.
The YouTube link always gets tweeted out. You can also just subscribe to that YouTube account. We get a lot of requests for the YouTube link, so just subscribe to that and then enable alerts, and you'll see whenever we go live. Basically, we only go live for this, so shouldn't spam you too badly there. Let's see, are we on the wrong YouTube link? Which one is it?
It's the Nate Duncan one. I think that's the...
Yeah, no, this is the right one. The other one got a copyright strike too, so had to switch back to the original one.
Yeah, but the link is up, and I've already retweeted it, so either of our accounts, you should be able to see it.
All right, so we're ready to go here. Late start, 8 o'clock Mountain in the Pepsi Center, and JaVale McGee nearly kills himself jumping for the pump fake on the jump, and then Nikola Jokic steals the tap.
How long does a player have to be to count as a revenge game? It feels like a lifetime that he was on the Nuggets.
Yeah, he got traded away in a salary dump at that point. Here's Jamal Murray off the Jokic screen. That two-man game will be something we see a ton of. Jokic, corner, Grant, good close from Davis, and LeBron with the help defense. That's the aggressive help defense that we've seen from LeBron this year that we just didn't see, frankly, in the regular season in Cleveland or last season. 2.7 to shoot. They get into Jokic. Backdoor Murray beat Bradley but couldn't finish.
And that time LeBron was asleep at the switch, but didn't end up costing them a bucket.
Yeah, I mean that's on Avery Bradley.
Oh, absolutely.
You can't just give up a back cut right under the basket there. Lakers controlled for their first possession. LeBron looking to come into the near corner. They're trying to get the hammer play. I mean, that was an ambitious pass, to say the least. He tried to bounce pass along the baseline. The hammer play, of course, is when on the weak side they try to set a back screen for a guy to go into the corner for a three. Nuggets had it sniffed out pretty well. Grant has the LeBron assignment initially. LeBron dancing around, back to goal, backing in, fade away from the nail is good. And LeBron, I like it so much more when he gets into the post on those isolations as opposed to trying to create something out top, which results in that step back three to his left that he hasn't been hitting that well this year. There's a pet play for the Nuggets. They like to screen Jamal Murray for Nikola Jokic to come up to the free throw line and curl into the lane, and a foul is called on that one.
Yeah, JaVale, you don't need to push too hard to get through a Jamal Murray screen, but did so anyway.
Oh, nice block on Gary Harris's attempt to finish. Here's LeBron going right at Jamal Murray, powerless to stop him in transition. 4-0 Lakers. Yeah, this, granted, a number of guys out still for the Nuggets, but this is kind of one of those statement-type games. I love that post up there with the high-low passing ability of Jokic. Grant able to get right into the body of Avery Bradley, who gives up the paint catch, and it'll be a foul. Great block here by JaVale on the Jamal Murray floater.
And not saying it will get to that point, but the Nuggets have had a series of big comebacks, harder to do against the defense this good.
LeBron going at Craig. Through him, into him, gets the foul call. And the Lakers already now, I don't know if that was going to count as fast break points, but their transition game is one of the best in the NBA. We talked about that on our podcast over the weekend.
Yeah, in the 1560, I talked about how they've been great in transition, but it's really that they've been amazing when LeBron James has been on the floor. Not really a huge surprise when you think about their personnel, especially when Davis and James are on the floor, because Davis has been a prolific transition player since his rookie year.
Yeah, he really sprints the floor. I said recently that I think LeBron might be having the best long-distance passing season of all time. He just throws these beautiful long entry passes. Here's a deep catch from Jokic, and they are giving up. That's 3 times now that the Nuggets have gotten a pass right into the restricted area, and they finally get their first bucket out of it. Bradley off a screen. Oh, and the Nuggets that time did not have help on the weak side. And you'll see generally their scheme is, we'll see how they do it this time, but generally their scheme is, as here's a nice little pick and roll. 3 in the corner from Craig is off. The Nuggets on pick and roll, they bring Jokic way out on the floor. Here's more transition from LeBron. Danny Green, wide open 3. They are running it down the Nuggets' throats right now, though they haven't scratched the last 2 possessions despite great looks.
And that's going to be JaVale McGee's second foul.
Yeah, and I do think that this is one of the teams that you want to consider going with Anthony Davis at center more, because I think his shooting ability and mobility really causes Jokic problems. If you can make Jokic have to guard him, it makes Jokic's life a lot tougher because he's not as mobile. Davis has put up some big games against Jokic in the past, especially if, as we started talking about, they're going to put 2 on the ball with Jokic in pick and roll defense way out on the floor. Jokic, McGee hasn't come out yet. Jokic has him on 2 fouls. Here's Murray, Harris, they swing it. Craig's 3 is good. Big shot there for Torrey Craig. He got a screen on the weak side. Jeremy Grant screening his own man so he couldn't make the rotation to the corner. Here's the alley-oop. Great help from Grant. He came over that time much better. Here's the drive. Easy finish from Murray. Craig played it perfectly.
Yeah, got the defender to commit, LeBron, and then just passed right to Jamal Murray.
Here's Anthony Davis. Don't really care for that shot at all.
Too early in the clock. Could have
go back. Put him in the goal. You got a huge size advantage on him. Here's Murray crossing over. Danny Green, great job. And then he veers back onto Craig. Here's Jokic's 3 over McGee, who did not close out. And Denver, 10 quick points here all of a sudden. It's a 10-2 run for the Nuggets.
Yeah, Nikola Jokic, for the season, he's shooting 35. Oh, no, that's from home. Sorry. He's shooting 32% from three, but 34% for his career. I think that's a shot you have to respect as JaVale McGee. I mean, even if he drives past you, he's not going to get all the way to the rim, but he can make a nice pass.
Yeah, okay. Am I louder now? I should be. Looks like I'm looking at the meter. It looks better. I think my mic was just a little further away from my mouth, but if I'm still too quiet, let me know. I can bump it up.
Does Dante DiVincenzo have starter potential? Yeah, absolutely. We have recorded but not yet released. That will be the first show we do after the All-Star break. Nate and I did our shooting guard rankings, and DiVincenzo was a challenging guy to place in some respects, but the whole shooting guard position is challenging. But if he can be a starter, I'm pretty confident he can be.
Are we good on the camera, by the way?
Oh, I'll check. I'll check it. Are you? If you
probably, or one of our viewers would have let us know, which we always appreciate because we are not great audio and visual technicians.
With Cleveland's confident win tonight, Nance, Drummond, and Tristan all getting a lot of offensive rebounds, are they set up to contend in the future? I don't think so. I mean, they did beat the stuffing out of the Atlanta Hawks.
Contend for the league lead in offensive rebounds, maybe.
Yes, they can do that, but the Atlanta Hawks are not exactly a team that is striking fear in the hearts of opponents right now. And I mean, the Cavs there have been periodically some encouraging signs, but no, I don't think their talent level.
During what period exactly?
I think they had that one. They had one win.
They had like maybe the first like 3 weeks.
Oh, is it in January? They had a couple wins. Then I was like,
they hadn't. This was their first win at home
forever
since Christmas. So,
it was the Detroit Dallas. That was what I was remembering. I'm like, oh yeah, maybe it's okay. And then after that, very much no.
Interestingly, offensive rebounds, if you look at like the team leaders in offensive rebounds, don't really correlate to winning teams at all.
Interesting. That makes some sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's just selection bias there. I mean, if you can keep everything else about your team equal and get more offensive rebounds, great. But you're giving stuff up in transition defense. It probably generally the types of players who get offensive rebounds are these ground-bound behemoth centers who might have trouble defensively on the other end.
Mm-hmm. This feels like one that you should handle. Should Marvin Williams take all of Ersan Ilyasova's minutes?
I don't know for sure. I think probably, but I would give them both chances and see. I mean, there's Marvin Williams. We haven't seen him playing for a good team in some time. So, I mean, it's possible that...
And Ilyasova knows what to do and within...
Yeah, but I like Williams' skill set better in theory, for sure.
Here.
It looks like we're going to be back here after that Frank Vogel timeout. Vogel very quick with the timeout when he perceives defensive mistakes, but it was basically 8 points and 3 possessions there for the Nuggets. Step up screen for LeBron, engages Jokic, goes to the fadeaway in the corner, is off. That's not a great shot. Jokic handling, McGee still in the game. I like Vogel leaving him in. He's not going to play that many minutes. And what are we going to get here? I think there's a foul as Jokic tried to roll. He got held.
Yeah, I think that was on Anthony Davis as he tried to get around him. Yes, they did call that foul on Davis.
Murray forced away from the screen. Jokic gets separation. Good close from McGee that time. Handoff. They flow into Harris in the lane over McGee. Stopped again by JaVale McGee. Nice play.
And Jokic didn't foul in transition.
And here's LeBron again. And the Lakers, I mean, their transition offense is killing the Nuggets right now, but they've really gotten little in the half court. Lakers lead the NBA in points per possession in transition, and they're right up there in terms of frequency as well. Here's Murray. His mid-ranger goes down over McGee, who has been attacked defensively.
And there's that long LeBron pass.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Free throw line.
And nobody else is even going to try that because Jamal Murray is right on him, right? You say, hey, your point guard gets back, fine, but McGee challenged the shot, so he's out in transition, And you'll see a ton of teams love to do that, but LeBron throwing that pass from the opposing 3-point line, that was ridiculous.
And I'm happy they didn't call a kick there. It seemed like Jamal threw it off a planted foot.
Here's Jokic eluding McGee. Good close late from Bradley is ineffective, though, as Jokic drains the elbow jumper. Davis trying to handle in pick and roll. That didn't go anywhere. Murray looking to push it in a 4-on-4. Pulls up over Danny Green. Yes, and Jamal Murray has been absolutely on fire lately. I think he had a 16 of 19 game recently, and he's averaging like 29 points over his last 4. Davis getting into his first post up of the game. Craig coming over at the nail. LeBron on the cut. Oh, nice pass from Davis. Swing to Bradley, and he airballs the 3. The spacing was not there. You see the difference with McGee in the dunker spot, and then another guy also on the baseline. That was a beautiful pass from Davis, however. Now Jokic looking to attack McGee, gets it knocked away. LeBron fighting for the ball. What speed. That was incredible. Now he's going to push it again. Tireless work from
Davis.
LeBron. Alley-oop. Goodbye. Oh, man.
And that's what having a big who consistently runs the floor does, is LeBron, unbelievable at keeping his head up, knows that there's going to be somebody breaking there.
I mean, and that, again, is the sort of defensive energy level we did not see from LeBron the last few regular seasons. Jokic off the screen from Harris. Doesn't really make contact. They switch it, though. Jokic double clutches from the foul line as the shot clock expires. Davis pushing it up. He's got Grant on him. Again, I would like to see him go back to goal. Instead, they're going to post him up here. Why not just back into that immediately before the help gets there? Doesn't matter, though. Davis got a good look, but missed it. Here's the run by Craig, and that time LeBron, pretty somnambulant defense. Just let him go right to the basket.
So it's 19-12 here. We'll see if the Lakers can actually get something on a half-court possession.
Well, their problem is they haven't hit a jump shot yet.
Yep.
I mean, LeBron's from the nail is the closest we've seen. Here's McGee going at Jokic. Hooks, no. Bradley, wow, he sprung for that rebound, but another miss. Now they're pushing it again. McGee is really tired. He's just jogging back. This is pathetic transition defense. And Frank Vogel, is he going to get another timeout here?
He is not.
No, he may just not have any more, but he would like to. He's got subs waiting because everyone is out of gas right now in this mile-high air. There's a tired pass from Bradley, but Murray just knocks it right back to him. Lucky break for the Lakers. McGee in particular and LeBron are exhausted right now. Murray, spin move, goes for 3. Wanted the foul call, could not get it. Now Bradley ahead of the field, and Jamal Murray, by spinning around to complain at the refs, just cost his team 2 points because he let his man Bradley get behind him, and another incredible long pass from LeBron.
And also, that's 5 straight points for Avery Bradley. I mean, that was a 9-point Denver lead that is all the way down to 4 in like 25 seconds. Now we can answer. Actually, before we answer some questions, we should talk about bookies.com.
Indeed, we should. Our sponsor, we thank them for their vision in sponsoring a cast like this when not a lot of people were breaking down our doors, so we appreciate them. We hope that you will support them as well, and there are very good reasons to go to bookies.com, Danny.
Absolutely, and I think what was something that connects with us, you and I are both, about information and analysis, and what bookies.com provides is information. If that is, you want insider, like insight into that, you can get that from Rex Strauman, or if it's simply, the wager that you want to make, you want to find legal places that you can do it in your state. If you're 21 and over, you can do that there, and they have live updating information, and so you can find out who has the best line, and they also have great sign-up deals. So you can get all of that in one place. You don't have to keep searching around, so it's convenient and effective.
Danny, I've got
his prediction for the day.
No, I've got something new to tell you. They have a new expert. Adam Thompson.
Adam Thompson.
Previously senior handicapper for Sportsline and CPSSports.com.
Nice.
He has consistently produced profitable seasons. All right, bookies, man, you gotta tell us when you get a new guy in here. This is exciting. And he has the Nuggets plus 2.5 over the Lakers. Yeah, I'm liking that. I like that pick. But bookies.com/NBA, or of course follow bookies at bookies on Twitter.
How much can Marvin play the 3 next to Giannis and Brook Lopez? Uh,
Sometimes they went to Mirotic in those alignments. It's not crazy.
there are a lot of teams that just don't have the 3s to punish that sort of alignment.
Oh, quick interjection here. Any way to pause the stream? Yeah, go to YouTube, which has been tweeted out at Nate Duncan NBA on Twitter. That has a pause button for those of you who are new and want to pause the stream. Thanks for that question. Sorry to interrupt, but I wanted to make sure that Agave Otter didn't get frustrated and leave before I had a chance to tell him about that.
That's a good one from Kyle Wirtz. How does Jokic's ability to consistently hit 3s affect potential playoff matchups? It is a real concern because it draws centers out. We've seen in this one, JaVale McGee's had the primary matchup on Jokic, and he's been really reluctant at points, and then Jokic hit a couple 3s, then he had to get out there a little bit more. So it can draw, especially teams that don't switch, and teams don't want to switch with Jokic anyway, it can draw players out, and as long as he can hit some cutters and they're active on offense, it can work well.
Yeah, and here they're showing the montage of these crazy long passes from LeBron. Once again, I mean, 2 assists on these already.
We should note the Grizzlies did end up beating the Blazers 111-104.
Monte Morris has come on at backup point guard. He'll play with Murray, who moves to the 2. And they've got AD now in at center. So you would, as LeBron goes to the bench, sometimes they would go with another center here. Sometimes it's AD at center. I like them going with AD at center here because they really struggle to score with LeBron out of the game. And here's Paul Millsap, his second game back, still coming off the bench. Rondo not going to attack Millsap one-on-one. Instead, they get it to Davis in the post. Late clock here. Millsap's going to come help, you would imagine. Davis into the lane. Stopped by Jokic. Good strength from him. He's going to have to jack it up. No contest, though. That was bad defense from Jokic.
Situational awareness there. I mean, he has to pull up for that shot.
Yeah, I mean, defenders almost need to know how much time is left on the shot clock as much as offense players do. Here's Murray slipping the screen. Millsap cuts. Good closeout from KCP, and that forces the brick. It looked like Craig was going to be open, and KCP covered the ground nicely to get out there.
And that was the most contested of Craig's 3 3-pointers. He's 1 of 3 so far.
Now KCP jacking up his own 3-pointer. He's over 60% true shooting this year. As long as you don't get him into a strength matchup for a guy that's too big for him to handle like Kawhi, he's a very solid player on both ends.
What a pass.
Oh, yeah, and then Rondo and KCP on the back end. Davis stepping way out on the floor on Murray to take away the jump shot. And the Nuggets, I mean, how many passes are they going to get in the half court to someone right wide open in the restricted area? Millsap switching on to Bradley. Now Davis goes into Craig. Double teamed. That was good double from Jokic. And we'll stay here. It looked like it was off Davis to me. 4.4 is all that's left to shoot, however. Where can you get one of these hats? I think we still have them for sale. It's been a while since I checked on that, but NateDuncanNBA.com, there's a merch tab in the upper right area as another 0.4 bleeds off the shot.
Well, but importantly, they called a hold on Jokic.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah, so then that puts it up to 14 and gets Jokic his first foul. Someone who is not necessarily great avoiding foul trouble.
No. And a lot of people have cited the idea that Jokic doesn't foul out that much, but that's because Mike Malone either takes him out of the game, as there's another miss from KCP. He's had a couple open looks, though. Or because he then stops trying on defense, and then it's much easier for the other team to score, even if he's not going to commit fouls. They got a double here with Bradley in the post. Nice cut. Morris floats it over KCP again. Lakers help side defense has gone awry. I mean, now your downside of playing AD at center is, Kuzma, Rondo, Bradley. I mean, they're very small at every position. Kuzma, with his first meaningful touch, gets it to AD in the corner, almost stepped out of bounds. Now he's back to goal. Late clock, tough fader, and Jokic has defended him well one-on-one.
That was a nice contest. Now see, Millsap can keep the ball moving. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, where AD has the advantage on Jokic is really more in the pick-and-pop game, forcing him to cover ground than going one-on-one as Murray again attacks. And Davis has not been equal to the task here He's been guarding Jokic, very concerned about him or Murray when he comes off the screen, and nobody else on the Lakers has any kind of ability to affect the ball at the rim.
And Jamal Murray, 9 points, 4 of 6 from the field, but he also has 3 assists and no turnovers.
Yeah, I mean, you see Kuzma just totally ground bound on that Murray layup as he was engaged with Jokic.
A couple score updates, just because I want to. Charlotte, after being down 20 points, is
they're going to beat Minnesota.
Hornets over, baby.
But Karl Towns did not play in this one. D'Angelo Russell, can't blame him though. Plus 11, 26 points and 11 assists.
Dallas up 20 on Sacramento with 8 minutes to go. Luka returned, looked pretty good physically to me. In the parts that we watched, I haven't seen his final stat line. Warriors trailed the Suns by 6 points midway through the third, and then the Heat lead the Jazz by 4 in Salt Lake City about halfway through the third, in a game I would probably be keeping a pretty close eye on if we weren't doing the live show. But this would still be my primary game. I'm very interested in this one. That's a good one. What is Jamal Murray's ceiling?
I think he could be a lower end All-Star.
Yeah, and I like him better as kind of this like hybrid secondary guard than being a full like run at every possession type of point guard. But he can run stuff well enough.
I'm going to see some of Jordan McRae. My first look at him in a Nuggets uniform. Here's Kuzma off the Howard screen. And interesting that the adjustment from Vogel was to take out Davis. Howard got hit on the elbow after a nice offensive rebound. And they need his energy and athleticism. They just look real tired and slow right now. John Hollinger referred to the Pacers as they were losing their lead against the Bucks as the Montego Bay Pacers. And Lakers, looking a little bit like the Cabo Lakers right now, too.
Yeah, this can be a really challenging game for some teams because it's their last one before the All-Star break, and they're just ready for it to be over. That's an operating theory for potentially what happened in Toronto, Brooklyn, a game I did not watch.
Yeah, so we're going to see Noah Vonleh as well. This is his first look as a Nugget. And, I mean, without...
Dwight Howard taking these free throws from like a couple of steps behind the free throw line is just very amusing to me.
Yeah, well, he practices 3-pointers so much. He feels more comfortable there. Here's Millsap, tries to draw the foul on Kuzma and does so. Kuzma, this is something that was highlighted in Lakers media. Doesn't really have a lot of toughness and strength. And so Millsap, despite the fact that he's slowed a little bit, I mean, he still can get into the post and hurt you. And I think we'll see more of that with Jokic out of the game. Remember, the Nuggets are still missing Plumlee as well right now. I mean, they're missing a lot of guys, and they've got a lot of depth, but they surrendered some of it in that Minnesota trade.
Yeah, they got McRae, and then they got Noah Vonleh, but Vonleh is more of an interim sub for Plumlee than a player like what Beasley was for them.
Is your eventual goal to be in-arena broadcasters? That's probably unrealistic because people like us just don't.
I also like our job better than that, personally.
I mean, it'd be pretty cool.
It would be cool.
But, I mean, I think the podcast will always be number one, but hopefully we'll be able to monetize this a little better as there's a nice alley-oop from Kuzma to Howard. So I guess we can talk about our own careers when the game's not going on. Maybe that'd be a better use of our time.
Fair enough.
Yeah, see, we're talking about something unrelated to the game. Maybe we can be in-arena broadcasters after all.
And it was about ourselves.
Yeah. Morris off the Millsap screen. James has returned to guard him. They want to get into the post, but Millsap doesn't have much time. Creates the space on Kuzma. Got a good look, but couldn't. Here's Vonleh, good rebounder. He'll find Dozier on the baseline, but he misses the easy jumper. LeBron not really looking to get the 2-for-1 with any alacrity. Small pick and roll with KCP. Did not have the feet ready to go at McRae. And McRae blocks him. They tried to size him up and go through him. KCP misses the exact same shot that Dozier just did on the other end. And the Nuggets will hold for 1.
So it's either going to be a 6-point lead or extended. And I think the Nuggets have looked very good after a flat first 2 minutes.
Here's Howard switching on to Morris. Morris blows past him and floats with .7 remaining in the quarter. LeBron throws it up, but nice solid buzzer clutch there from KCP. Hey, he's gonna be a free agent. He needs his stats. He can't waste it on a bad 3-point field goal.
He has valuable bird rights potentially. 31-23 is the first quarter score. Leading scores is a tie between Jamal Murray with 9 points on 4 of 6 from the field, and Nikola Jokic with an identical 9 points on an identical 4 of 6 from the field. Leading scorer for the Lakers is LeBron James, who is also their leading assister, but not their leading rebounder. And you can see the advanced stats below, which is very useful.
Someone asked us like what sites we look at for stats. Cleaning the Glass is certainly, I mean, it's really quite an amalgam. They all have different strengths and weaknesses. NBA.com is the only place really to go for the player tracking data stuff, which is good. They've got
Their clutch filter's nice.
Clutch filter. They've got some like good way to compare players' individual stats when one guy's on the floor. Like when we looked at, Porzingis on and off with Luka, we looked at that.
And then like Unpredictable, I really like for the time to shot measures. I really enjoy as a good freak like transition speed measure, and you can do offense and defense splits there, which is of course really nice to separate out things like pace. But yeah, I think it is an amalgam, but you just get used to the whole amalgam. That's just kind of the way it works for us.
Yeah, synergy is good to get some of the play type stuff as well. That's more scouting focused. I mean, there's probably, when we're doing research for like the 15 and 60, there's probably 6 or 7 sites.
Absolutely.
I mean, Basketball Reference obviously is like just their overall format and the way they break down the shot locations is just really easy to get all of the players' shot location data on one screen is nice.
From Matthew Wood, do you think the Suns should have done something with Tyler Johnson's expiring contract at the deadline? This is something that you and I actually disagreed a little bit on, because I wonder what they're going to do with their cap space. It is nice to potentially have, I think the rough ballpark is like 15 to 22 million, I think, depending on where their pick ends up.
Yeah. That
could be useful. There aren't many teams in that range. I'm actually working on what I call space race. I'm working on a space race piece for The Athletic, which I hope will come out on Friday. So that is a nice place to be. But there really aren't many free agents. So, yeah, if they could have gotten somebody on a non-expiring contract, that could have been useful. But it's a justifiable choice by James Jones, especially because we didn't really see guys in that caliber move very much this deadline.
Well, this is a good stat from Adam Morris. If you look at the tweets, Monte Morris led the league last year in field goals at the end of the first and third quarters. So, and he does do that. He pushes it up really hard. That time it wasn't a transition situation, but he's usually got the ball in his hands creating for the Nuggets at the end of quarters.
Do you see the Lakers getting this many transition points in the playoffs? Not this many, because teams generally push harder in transition defense just because they can. And because, you never play on back-to-backs, you're focusing in, the stakes are a lot higher. But the Lakers have really good transition talent, especially when they're playing with their best guys. So it wouldn't shock me if they still do really well. The other thing that changes when you get in the playoffs is, generally speaking, those teams are better at getting back. Because you lose the bottom half of the league, and some of those teams like the Cavs and the Wizards are terrible in transition defense. The Warriors this year. And Kuzma makes a 3-pointer to start the second quarter.
Yeah, we didn't really see exactly how that developed. We just saw him shooting it. So great production there. Morris gets the screen from Vonleh. They'll switch that. Throw it to the corner. Dozier had to save it. McRae likes to put guys in the mix. KCP stays with him nicely. They go under. McRae trying to create space. Vonleh stepping out for 3 on Howard, and he drains it. I mean, that shot, Danny, if he can make that shot consistently, which, it just hasn't materialized for him in his career, I think that could change things for him.
And when I first saw Vonleh as a prospect, he was considered a small forward, and now he's a 5 in the
small forward.
Early day,
that?
16.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a 3 from LeBron, catch and shoot variety. He shoots it much better on catch and shoots, as most players do, than off the dribble. He's only 31% off the dribble on threes this year. ton of switching from the Lakers. Now here's a double team to help Rondo. Good hands by KCP. Millsap recovers. Dozier not going to take that in the corner. Steps in. Good contest from Howard, but he makes it anyway. Now it's Rondo, forced towards the baseline. Corner, Kuzma, quick release on the three is off. Couldn't make it two in a row. Here's McRae running the floor down the middle, but nothing is there. Good job by KCP picking him up. Morris directing traffic. Wants to get the ball to Millsap against Rondo on the ISO. Goes right through him. Rondo commits the foul. And Rondo is going to say that he didn't foul him, but when you've got your arms forward like that, if there's any contact at all on the arm, you have committed a foul.
Yeah, a good way of thinking about it is that you lose when your arms are down. You lose all the benefit of the doubt. So if they see contact, they're gonna call it on the defense every time.
Interesting. Dame Lillard strained his groin late in the game against Memphis. He says he won't be playing in the All-Star game, and he mentioned Devin Booker as someone who should be considered as his replacement.
Well, I mean, that could end up being really important for the playoff race, depending on if it lingers, because...
Yeah. I mean, if he knows right away... I mean, now maybe he just doesn't feel like going.
Also possible.
We'll see if he... I mean, he's going to...
Is he still performing at halftime?
Oh, yeah. No, I guess he'll probably still be there anyway, huh? All right, we're talking about the non-game again. This is terrible. I should just wait to the commercials as we... Got a little holding action here. Looks like Rondo is called for it.
Well, I mean, the Lillard thing is an important piece of league news.
Vonleh, they get the back screen for Millsap, guarded by LeBron. Now Morris takes the three off the dribble, is short, and Howard rebounds. Howard coming back in has stabilized the defense, as has Murray and Jokic going out of the game, perhaps more accurately. Howard trying to post up right at the charge circle, and Vonleh called for bumping him. That's one where I think you just, as long as he doesn't have 2 feet in the charge circle, I think you're okay there. LeBron off the Howard screen, engages Vonleh. 10 on the clock. Goes into his ISO game. Right hand into the lane. KCP is open. Yes, and McRae really did very little there to stay with KCP.
Helping without helping is the term that I use for that.
Exactly. Morris snaking along the baseline. Nice bouncer to McRae. McRae is hacked by Rondo again, and you see Rondo is just, he's pretty bad defensively. That's pretty clear.
Right, and the Lakers do have other options, including Alex Caruso to potentially fill that role. The problem is that Rondo has a lot of equity, and those are the types of decisions that some coaches don't make. And we'll see where Frank Vogel is at the end of the season. And it's not like, to me, that Caruso. I think I would rather have Caruso play a larger role than Rondo. But it isn't such a no-brainer that I'm ready to kill Vogel for it yet. Oh, and there's Caruso. Look at that.
Yeah, he replaces Rondo. A couple of fouls for Rondo might be the reason for that. They'll switch this again. KCP, that time McRae with a better closeout. Oh, what a strip from Millsap. Great hands. Howard wanted a foul call against his old Atlanta teammate, actually, Danny.
And longtime Southeast Division foe.
Here's Millsap hitting the three. The graphic noted that he's over 40% from three this year. Not a high volume guy, but these are minutes that if you're the Nuggets, you're just so happy to be winning at the moment, going against LeBron, and you've got none of your starters on the floor. Here's a KCP corner three. That misses. Dozier rebounding. Throw it ahead. Passes a little bit off, and Morris has LeBron on him now. He wants to get Millsap in the post. Hand back off. His three is good from Monte Morris.
And I don't know if that was LeBron paying attention to Millsap on Kuzma or just not being attentive overall defensively, but Morris created way too much separation in a second there.
It seems like their scheme is just to go under on Morris, but he made him pay that time. Yeah, so a couple of threes now by the Nuggets. They are 6 of 9 from downtown. Lakers 4 of 11 is totally fine too, but The Nuggets shooting 67%.
Well, and you know what's looking good? The bet from new expert Adam Thompson.
Thompson.
Thompson's looking. I mean, so Denver 2.5 point underdogs, and you can check out Adam's insight and everything else at bookies.com/NBA. They have not only those expert picks, but live odds and the best online sign-up deals that you can get, and whatever you're looking at. So whether that's spreads, money lines, totals, parlays, they have all that information there. So whatever you're interested in, you can go to bookies.com and it live updates, which I think is such a nice piece of convenience for people who are into that, just going one place and seeing what you want.
Yeah, and being able to click through to get the best deals in your state as well is excellent. Best game you've ever seen when you were in attendance has probably got to be Game 7 of the 2016 finals.
Yeah, that, I mean, definitely the most impactful. I'm trying to remember.
I mean, it's basically all going to be Warriors home games for me. So, I did see a great game as a college student in New Orleans in 1999. Wally Zerbiak scored 43 of his team's 59 points, and they beat Washington by 1 in the first round of the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I remember I went to a bunch of UCLA NCAA tournament games. Aflalo hit a game winner against Alabama. I think it was my sophomore or junior year of college. Junior year of college. That was really amazing. I did not go to the UCLA Gonzaga game. It will haunt me for the rest of my life. Yeah, and there have been some fun Warriors games over it. I'm trying to think of non-Warriors games that
I mean, one of the best quality games that I ever saw was, it was only a first half. It was 2015 Warriors Thunder.
The one when KD
where
got hurt.
KD sprained his ankle on Mo Spates trying to take a charge.
Fix the charge. Yeah, that was bad.
The OKC led by 20. Warriors came back. KD had 30 in the first half. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of. I mean, the best Warriors playoff games have all kind of been on the road.
Question: what do you think about the report that the Lakers declined the offer from the Knicks that included Boogie and Bradley, encountering with an offer that included Danny Green? If that happened and the Knicks turned it down, I think they're insane. Even though that first round pick, Danny Green doesn't necessarily line up with the Knicks timeline, but $20 can buy many peanuts. Danny Green is a very good player who would have been in demand for a lot of other teams. I would hope he should have been. Does Millsap take a team-friendly deal to stay with Denver? They paid him a lot and he likes the area. It's possible. I never assume that a player is going to take a discount until I've seen it happen with that player and team, like Dirk after he did it once. So I'm skeptical, but it's possible.
But I mean, what's a discount? Is there more than the mid-level exception out there for him? Maybe in a sign trade. Here's Caruso right down the lane. Oh, he eluded Vonleh beautifully for the twisting layup. 11-point Denver lead. Millsap finds Dozier, who hasn't done much quite yet. He's just been their backup 3, essentially. Morris snaking into the lane. They just left him wide open, and he drains another one. Monte Morris has...
It's 4 of 5 from the field, 1 of 1 from 3, and I think all but one of those have been jump shots.
LeBron, small pick and roll with Kuzma right down the lane, and 1. I mean, that's where LeBron, they haven't done that much small pick and roll this year, but LeBron has still been very good at it, and especially with spacing him around.
Oh, I think they're calling that on the floor.
Yeah.
Okay. And LeBron is coming out, and Danny Green came in for him.
Yeah, so the numbers are pretty staggering. 11 net rating when LeBron is on the floor, and negative 3.5 when he's off. Here's Millsap. They're going to get a charge on him? No. Looks like a trip, maybe.
One of the challenges of not having audio, but it's worth it overall.
Yeah, Millsap has had a good run here.
Absolutely.
Coming back from that sore knee, and now Jokic will replace Vonleh. Jeremy Grant returns as well. And this could be a dangerous time here for the Lakers. They're already down 13. LeBron out of the game for the next few minutes or so. Here's Davis, flies in with the left hand, and nobody there to challenge him. That's what Jokic's big weakness is when he's under the rim. Dozier, forced towards the baseline by Caruso. Here's Jokic, floater, and I mean, he just imperturbable. KCP comes over, stunts towards him, and he just goes right past him and floats it in anyway. Caruso pick and roll, they go under on him, he'll jack it and hit it. So the two backup point guards making the defense pay for going under. Jokic looking for Morris out of the corner. Pressured well by Howard. Now gets past him into the lane. Drops it off. No spacing there from Grant. Dozier tried to cut and Caruso was in position to force Denver to reset.
And while the frequency isn't what you like, Denver is 6 for 9 from 3-point so far. Comparatively, the Lakers 5 of 12. And Denver's only, this can be a measure of defensive aggressiveness more sometimes than anything else. Denver only has 1 turnover so far in this game.
Here's Morris. Jokic gets the screen from Murray. They'll switch that. Murray now creates the space on Howard. Late clock, but he was off balance. That's why that was short. Caruso directing traffic. He wants to get everyone out of there so AD can post up on Gary Harris. Help has got to come here. Let's see. It's Grant. No, they don't. It goes baseline instead. And that's not good enough from Gary Harris. And Mike Malone's going to get a timeout to tell him about it because Harris, you got to know where the help is coming from in that situation. If it's coming from the top with Grant, you can't let him spin baseline. If it's coming from the baseline, you can't let him go middle. And Harris just went for the strip himself instead. Maybe he was expecting help to come baseline, but clearly a miscommunication by all involved.
Thoughts on the Rockets' small ball so far? I've been impressed. I mean, especially in the game against the Lakers. Well, actually, overall, the defense hasn't slipped by much. In fact, sometimes it's looked better. And then it's Russell Westbrook has looked rejuvenated by it and being healthier too.
Chris Haynes says Damian Lillard didn't hear a pop when he injured his groin, which is a great sign. He'll spend All-Star weekend recovering in preparation for a second-half playoff push. So, hey, maybe he's not going to wrap now. That'd be a shame. Actually, I'm not going to watch it regardless, so it doesn't really matter. Any bigs outside of Tristan you'd like as buyouts in Houston? And there's really nobody that sexy out there, is there?
I can't think of anyway. Yeah, I haven't gone all the way through and gamed out the buyout market, but I mean now that the Hornets guys are gone, there aren't a lot of clear-cut bigs on really, really bad teams that are on expiring contracts. Last 20 games, Jordan Poole hasn't looked quite as busty. You have any hope for him? Yeah, I have some. I mean, his shot has looked better. He's looked more competent as a offensive decision maker, I guess let's call it. So yeah, there's some, but the defense still hasn't been great. And you know the theory of Poole relies a lot on him being a total knockdown shooter, and I'm not all the way there on him, but definitely more hope than early where he was terrible.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like the ball can go in for him now, which is a start. And, I mean, he's not an impactful defender, but I haven't seen just, like, the horrendous plays that characterized his play earlier in the season.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know that I have a good answer for it. From Nichols Silversack. Who are the teams that give you the best indication of the strengths or weaknesses of an opposing team? In other words, the control matchups that help you like get disposed, that help teach you things. It's interesting. For playoff teams, I use a different for the high end playoff teams, I use different things because then you want somebody who has like a high end individual talent. So like sometimes I use Portland for how a team can handle like that type of point guard, but they don't have a lot of the other stuff. I don't know. Do you have a good answer for that?
No, I don't think it's one team necessarily. I mean, it used to always be Golden State. I mean, not control,
just because we also saw them.
Just because it's like, to me, I'm more about, does this team have a chance of winning the championship? How are they going to look in the playoffs? As opposed to just, this is just some average team. because an average team is still going to have different strengths and weaknesses. I mean, I realize that's the thrust of the question, but no one comes to mind for me. I don't have an established one in my mind. It's generally against the teams that I think are the best and the most versatile and generally have the best wing talent. Here's Murray baseline, and he's intercepted by Davis, had nowhere to go. Lakers trailing by only 8. They've made up ground in this time with LeBron on the bench. Caruso gets the screen from Davis. They'll switch that, swing it, but Green's not going to attack there. They're going to try and get into the post. They got no time here, though. This is what it can look like with LeBron on the bench. Caruso forces it up. Terrible possession.
Yeah, they didn't even create a single skosh of separation at all in that possession.
Well, and I think where it went awry was Caruso's. Here's a beautiful oop, but Grant got lost a little bit on the reverse slam attempt. Here's Green transition, closed down by Murray. How is that not a foul? Instead, it's Davis in the corner, one-on-one against Jokic. Spin move on the baseline. Oh, what a move.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, and you saw that Grant did not want to help because he was engaged with Howard for a potential rebounding battle. Jokic gets fouled by Howard on a pretty miserable foul to commit 16 feet from the basket. Jokic at the elbow, handoff, drive from Craig, closed down nicely by Howard. Lakers doing a lot more switching than you might expect. Jokic back to goal, finds Grant for 3. Davis does not commit the foul, and now he's going to get a dunk on the other end.
Yeah, and they did something there that we're seeing teams do more often, which is when a big contests a 3, just keep on moving towards the other end.
And by the way, Jamal Murray now has cost his team 4 points by bitching to the refs and not getting back on defense. Because that's his job to get back on that play, and he's complaining about no foul on Jeremy Grant instead. Then Murray loses it. Here's the drive from Caruso. Nice finger roll. And again, Jokic not able to impact that drive by Caruso. And the Lakers, huge run here to get back into it. They've chopped a 13-point lead down to 2 with LeBron on the bench.
The Lakers are now +9 in the minutes LeBron James has not played in the first half. That's rare.
Is the color scale of the advanced stats compared to league average? It's pretty close. I think it might be compared to like last year's league average. Like when I was working with Min on developing RT hoops, I think I gave him like what I thought the league averages were. I mean, so it's just a rough estimate of like, hey, this is really bad, this is really good. You know, I wouldn't, if it's, you know, shaded a little bit one way or another, I wouldn't focus on that too much.
This one from Bricklayer Joe is something I haven't thought about a ton yet, but projected contract for Fred VanVleet this summer. Who needs him that has space?
New York and Detroit have been the two most floated.
Yeah, I mean, Detroit swapping with Cleveland in terms of the team that has space is really good news for Fred VanVleet, because Cleveland would not have signed a point guard and Detroit absolutely could, especially because if they want to, they could sign VanVleet and then move Derrick Rose or just keep both of them, because having 2 capable point guards is a good thing. Just depending on what timeline they're on.
All right, we're back here. Nuggets have gone back to their starters, Gary Harris. And what's this? Just a travel from Murray? I didn't really see that. LeBron has returned. He's guarded by Craig now. Caruso on the drive. LeBron catch and shoot is off. Howard out jumps Jokic for the rebound. Forces it inside and dunks on him. What power from Howard. And I really think it was just getting healthy and obviously in better shape, losing some weight for Howard. But I mean, he's back to looking the way you would have thought that he would look as an athlete when he was younger at age 34. Here's Jokic.
And again, unperturbable. That was a giant killer by a giant over Anthony Davis.
Yeah, I mean, Jokic, his floater game has looked really good the last month and a half or so. LeBron stepping back, now post up Davis against Craig. Help comes in the baseline from Jokic, and they screw it up again. They sent him the wrong way again, Danny, after they just had a timeout to talk about that.
Yeah, and so they let Davis go baseline, but that's not where Nikola Jokic is, and now AD gets to.
It did look like maybe the plan was to send him baseline, but Craig kind of cut him off, and so Jokic went the other way, and then Davis was.
Yeah,
able
it
to
could have
get
been
back.
a read by Jokic.
Yeah.
But Davis misses the free throw. The Lakers are now 2 of 5 from the free throw line.
And they outlet the ball to Jokic to bring it up. I
And
love seeing that.
and both their makes are Dwight Howard.
Jokic looking for Murray. Back door. What a pass. Good help comes from Avery Bradley, though. That leaves a 3 open from Harris, and he misses it. Gary Harris struggling mightily on his jump shot. He had an 0 for 14 game against the Jazz, which they nonetheless won very shorthanded. LeBron against Grant one-on-one here. 11 on the clock. Jab step. Jump shot. Yes.
And I think that was a good enough contest by Jeremy Grant. LeBron just made the shot. He had a hand in his face.
I still don't care for it most of the time when a guy faces up from 15. You don't make him put it on the floor. Here's Jokic. Floater. Couldn't get the rebound. Davis in a 3-on-3 leading the break. He's got the smaller Murray. Goes into him, and a clear blocking foul is called on Murray.
Jamal Murray has not been the best. He has not done the best young Danny Green impersonation as a transition defender back. He's got a few times where he's been caught in this game. And, I mean, there's a huge size mismatch. AD is awesome. But, I mean, you kind of have... I think when you're defending in that sort of circumstance, you have to have a goal and try to do just that thing. Like, if you want to try to do a strip or you want to try to draw a charge or something, he just kind of was around. Yeah, Gary Harris, he's only taken 3 shots in 12 minutes, and he has missed all 3 of them. 0 points, 1 assist, 1 turnover, 1 foul, nothing of anything else.
Yeah, and Harris, I mean, they don't have anyone to replace him as of now, especially with
one of the
Barton
reasons
out.
I didn't like the Will Barton, or not the Will Barton, the Malik Beasley trade.
Yeah. Yeah, catch you up here. Anthony Davis, 14 points, 7 of 11 from the field. And he has done it in ISO. He's done it in transition. I don't think he even has a shot yet outside of the paint that he's made.
I don't think so. I think those are a couple of the misses. And second missed free throw.
Yeah. I mean, he and LeBron are combined 0 for 4 from the foul line. But he'll have a chance to make one more. And finally, they're off the Schneid. Yeah, we're seeing, Danny, a lot more of Jokic with the ball in his hands than we did early in the season. Bringing it up, initiating the offense. They run a little cross screen to try and get him a post up. Nice tap back pass. Murray on the drive, stopped by Davis. Bradley keeps it alive as Harris went for the offensive rebound. That leaves transition open. LeBron going through Craig, but couldn't get the call or the layup. Murray right back. He's got Craig, stopped by Howard, and intercepted by Caruso beautifully.
A nice pass there.
LeBron finding Davis. His catch and shoot 3 is off. Howard abusing Jokic on the glass and puts it in. I don't see if this is going to be an and one or not. Yeah,
And
it's going to be.
Jokic there, he didn't respond to Howard getting into position for the offensive rebound. He just let Howard get to the spot. Howard grabs the rebound and gets the N1.
And really, Danny, I mean, when did Dwight Howard come in? Like end of the first?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, I mean, he is
I think
really,
he's played 12 straight minutes.
Yeah, he has changed this game. He's looked much better than McGee, who does, I mean, he did used to play in Denver, but he also has those asthma issues. But Howard has brought the energy that the Lakers did not have early in the first quarter.
And
then,
the made free throws.
Oh, yeah.
He is 3 for 3. LeBron and AD are combined 1 for 5.
So this is now a 23-4 run for the Lakers. Murray, Caruso has also been a big part of the energy here. Jokic with the kind of illegal screen, and that's a beautiful play. That was very John Wall, Marcin Gortat-like, where he would throw the pass kind of behind him, but he can reach back, grab it, And then as his momentum's going forward, get past the big after the passing angle is created by throwing it behind him. LeBron gets the screen from Caruso. One-on-one against Murray. They switch this. LeBron backing down. Backing again. Right shoulder. Easy. But he blew the layup. He wanted the foul. Maybe should have gotten it. Here comes Harris, and he'll lay it in.
Hey, he made a shot. Yeah, and Caruso is +9 in 8 minutes as well.
Lakers should run it down here for the 2-for-1. Look for them to go at about 35. LeBron swings it out. Bradley closed down by Harris. Forced to his left. He does hit the mid-ranger, and they get that 2-for-1. Nuggets going to try and get it too. No, they're not. Yeah, I thought Murray was going to let it bounce for a while.
I think he just wanted to breathe.
Murray attacks Caruso. Blow by. It down the lane. Stopped by James. Good pass out. Harris can't make him pay.
I mean, Harris and Craig are a combined, I think, 1 for 5 on pretty open threes.
So LeBron will run it down. He's guarded by Grant. 4-point Laker advantage. They look to extend. Help coming from Harris on the elbow. Now he backs it off. LeBron drives and goes right through Grant for the layup. And once again, Jokic, the lack of spacing, Danny, doesn't matter as much when Jokic is the big defender, because even if he's there, he has no effect on LeBron. You got to either get your body in front of him as Jokic and go vertical. And no, that's just what he should do. There is no other option.
I mean, and there's the old standby, if you're going to reach and if you're going to foul, make sure he doesn't get a goddamn shot up.
And another missed free throw for LA, but after a desultory first quarter, the Lakers explode.
Well, and not only was it a 38-24 second quarter, remember the beginning of the second quarter was good for the Nuggets. Like, they had that run. It was within that second quarter that they went on what was a 21-2 run, and I think expanded to, I don't have the exact numbers, but something like probably like 28-5, something like that. Leading scorer in the game is a tie between Nikola Jokic and Anthony Davis. They both have 7 made baskets and 15 points. Davis has 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. Jokic has 3 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and a block. And Jokic, -13. Anthony Davis, +11. Not that is entirely either of their creations, but worth noting.
So, three-point shooting has not been a huge part of this for either team. You mentioned the Nuggets shooting it well, but not often from 3. Here's where your game is, though, right now. Lakers, 16 of 23 in the restricted area.
Wow.
46% of their shots coming there. Some of those on the fast break, some of them at the expense of Jokic. And it's halves like this where everyone wants to say, Jokic is better than his stats. He's like, the numbers say he's a good defensive player with RPM and PIPM and all that. And it's like, I'm sorry, if you watch this half, you can't come to that conclusion that he's good. He could be adequate against certain teams, but now that the Lakers, and I really like the Lakers' strategy to some degree of, hey, we're just going to go at this guy. We're not going to put him in pick and roll, because that's what the Nuggets want to do, is get Jokic out on the floor in pick and roll, force you to give it up, and then fly around. Instead, they're just like, we don't care if you got Jokic near the rim. We're just going to go right at him.
Yeah, and I've been toying with this idea that the way to the answer for Jokic is that he's actually not a center defensively, that you actually want to pair a rim with a rim protector, and we've seen the Mason Plumlee minutes work out better than expected. Just because if that's what the Nuggets are relying on with him, it might be hard to succeed. So it's something. Like, and it's not like he can defend 4s that well, but having a rim protector is such an important part of a team defensive concept.
Could a team with Jamal Murray as the second best player be championship level? I think you could if you had like LeBron James as your number 1. With Jokic, and maybe Murray can get there. He's got to get to be an even better perimeter scorer. He's got to shoot 40% from 3 though, really. Like that's how he gets to all-star level to me. But before we take some more questions, we'll tell you about our sponsor. Thanks to bookies.com again for sponsoring this program, and we appreciate them doing that, because this is a live cast of us talking about NBA games without the NBA game actually in there. We thank you guys for watching, because we know it's tough to sync up, but hopefully there will come a time where you don't have to do that anymore. But thanks to bookies.com for helping to make this show possible even so. And if you want to support them for supporting us and also get some great information, what should they do?
Should go to bookies.com/NBA. You can get the best NBA odds comparison, picks, and strategies, whether you're looking for spreads, money lines, totals, or parlays. Also, give them a follow on Twitter at bookies, BOOKIES. And it's always great to bookmark a page that you're going to use a lot, bookies.com/NBA, especially if you are 21 or over and live in one of the states where gambling is currently legal, or wagering is currently legal. And let's take some questions. Who would you rather have going forward? Friend of the pod, Domantas Sabonis, or Kristaps Porzingis?
Oh, Porzingis. Not
Yeah.
even close.
Porzingis,
Even with the injury issues.
yeah, I mean, you do have the availability is a material concern for me with Porzingis, but that skill set of being able to, be a threat from 3-point, they're showing a highlight of Bam dunking all over Rudy Gobert. That's really impressive. And also Porzingis is that you have to respect the 3-point shot. I don't think it's a coincidence that he is a part of this really good offense. He's not the best player in it, obviously Luka is, but yeah, I would take Porzingis. The Athletic reported today that Buddy Hield may demand out of Sacramento. Money aside, is he more valuable than Bogdan, and what should Sacramento ask for in a Hield trade? In the abstract, I think of Hield and Bogdanovich, not that they're the same player, but I think of them as similarly valued players. However, that makes Hield likely less valuable as a trade commodity. Not that Bogdanovich can really be traded right now, it would have to be a sign and trade, because I think Hield is making more than Bogdanovich will, and I think Hield is overpaid. So that makes it harder for a trade to happen. And remember that just because a player makes a trade demand does not mean that they actually get traded, especially now we're after the deadline, of course, though Sacramento could make a deal as soon as the end of the regular season if they were trading with a fellow non-playoff team. I'm guessing it would wait until the league year turns over, because then at least a couple teams will have space. The problem for Sacramento, in my eyes, is that, first of all, there aren't many teams that are going to have cap space, so then you're probably going to have to take back salary, and then it gets into evaluating those players and everything else. And I think that if they actually want to trade Hield, I think they'll overvalue him. Remember, this is the same front office that traded for Hield in the first place, that signed him to that new contract earlier than they had to. And so I honestly, I don't think something happens unless the situation gets bad enough that they, Dwayne Dedman style, think it can't persist. But remember that Hield is a much bigger part of their present and future than Dwayne Dedman was. That's an interesting one. How does Vlade still have a job? Even Grunfeld had the excuse of making the playoffs most years. That is something Nate and I have talked about it. I think I don't want to put words in his mouth. I think something that there have been some good moments for Vlade. They have found some value at moments in time. Like drafting De'Aaron Fox is a positive thing. I was thinking about Shams Charania's piece at The Athletic today. But the horrors of their free agent signings overall, that they just signed a bunch of guys who didn't fit their timeline, who ended up providing like nothing for them, and many times they had to pay to dump. I think that's a big sign. It's not like the draft resume is sterling. There are various examples. The funniest one in some ways to me is the pick that became Marquise Chris. They traded down, and the best thing that Sacramento got in that trade was Bogdan Bogdanovich. It wasn't the draft picks, because those became, I believe it was Giles and Justin Jackson. Jackson was included in the Harrison Barnes trade. And then Harry Giles, they declined that option on him, which may end up being a mistake. We'll have to see. So yeah, I don't think Vlade should have a job. I think that the replacement GM would be better than him, like the value over replacement GM. Even with Vivek and some of the owner misgivings, I would rather have somebody else there. How likely do you think it is for Luka to win an MVP on his rookie contract? What about a championship? I think both of those are unlikely. Championship being significantly less likely, just because that's a much harder.
They need one more. I think that they need one more real high level piece as a scoring creator, and they also need one more real high level piece as a 3-and-D guy in the wing.
But I mean, MVP, he's been playing around that level, but there are a lot of other guys there. I would say I don't think it's likely if I had to put odds on it. So it's in the next 3 years, he's not going to win it this year. I don't know, 10%? And that might be high. But he's damn good.
So can you guys pronounce ELO and not ELO? I mean, it's all in capital letters. So they may have even named it after some inventor or something, but like...
Actually, I believe it's not all capital letters.
It's not where?
At least on this.
No, was it? Oh, yeah.
Because that's...
because it's all...
Everything's capped.
All right.
Yeah,
ELO it is. My bad. Thanks.
We can just pretend that the guy who Jordan made the shot over is the guy who created it.
Yeah, it's in all capital letters, but that's because everything in that font is capital letters. So yeah, there's somewhere on the page where it's not all in capital letters. So, all right.
Was Jordan Clarkson the most important trade pickup in the West? I think in terms of the regular season, there's a distinct possibility that he is, largely because he's getting to play about 20 more games. But in the playoffs, I think Marcus Morris will be more important at the bare minimum. And important does not mean positive necessarily. It just means important.
See if there's anything else to catch up on stats-wise here.
From Mofro, do you think the Clippers should go small?
Oh, hey, you want to do a little? We can do a little extra time here.
Is there a close game?
Warriors Phoenix within 4 with 45 seconds left. We'll see whose ball it is. I'll keep that going in the background. Let's continue our.
But so the question was,
our show here.
The question was, do you think the Clippers should go to small ball with Marcus Morris, the 5 more often now, rather than Zubac and Harrell? It's very context dependent, but I do like some of those lineups for them. Yes. And I like Morris more than JaMychal Green in a lot of those configurations. Maybe not all of them, but yeah. And you might even play those guys together depending on the...
Right, down 4 with 7.3 remaining, and don't have the ball.
But it is a moral victory, and that is important to some people, I guess, maybe. And the Jazz, when I last said the score, they were behind by 4. Now they're ahead by 13 with a minute and a half. That same Rudy Gobert, though, 16 points, 18 rebounds, 2 blocks, plus 25 in 35 minutes for the Jazz.
Which 538 model do you prefer? For those who don't know, there's the EL. The ELO model, and then there's also their Raptor model, which is based on like individual player ratings. That even they have a whole system that they've done that even includes like some of the tracking data. I think I prefer the ELO ratings, but I mean Raptor, we just don't know how reliable it is. I mean, it could be that it ends up more reliable over the years, but this is the first year.
Like that was something that came up. Somebody was complaining that we were using Raptor instead of ELO and saying that it was underrating the Spurs. We're like, we don't know. We don't know if it's underrating the Spurs because the season hasn't played out yet.
I mean, the way the Spurs have been lately, it probably is underrating them.
Yeah. What coach do you think has the highest wins above replacement this year through the All-Star break? I mean, I think that's a fair proxy for what I consider for Coach of the Year, and my answer would be Nick Nurse.
Well, considering who he replaced, you still would have to go with Mike Budenholzer, maybe.
Yeah, it's not wins over kid though. Whack is a different measure.
Wins over replacement coach. I mean, we don't know what it would look like without. I mean, now that they've played a couple of years under him,
yeah,
then they probably have some institutional knowledge there as well. But, yeah, I mean, you probably would have to go Nurse.
I'd say those are the top 2 though.
Who's a replacement? Is Jim Boylan a replacement level coach?
I don't think so.
You think he would be better?
Are we going to rehash the conversation we had like 5.5 years ago about Mark Jackson? Do you remember this? We had a really long conversation about it.
Oh, I vaguely.
Oh, that's an interesting one from Robin Jeffrey. How did you guys get into NBA media work? My own thing is I did it. I started sports writing as a stress release from law school. I wanted something, and I actually a couple of my friends and I started a blog that was about various things, but I ended up writing more about sports than anything else. Then Real GM picked me up from there, and then so I started writing for Real GM back in '09, actually as a draft guy originally, and then became a CBA and analyst and everything from there, and then started podcasting. I want to say in 2012 or 13. So it all kind of, and then it didn't really kick in for me. I didn't quit all my other stuff until 2015, and then that's when we started Dunked On, and I started getting paid to write more often.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I just started my own blog in 2012 called the Team Rebound, and went to a few events like Sloan. I just happened to be in Europe, so I just went to the Euro camp and started having some conversations in the 2013 Euro camp. Steve Collier was there, and I introduced myself to him, and we started talking. He asked about my work and liked it, and so he brought me on at Basketball Insiders. And then I met Danny that first season covering the Warriors for Basketball Insiders in 13-14, and just decided to start the pod after just wishing that it existed. So I made the pod that I wanted to hear, and then it kind of took off, and so then I quit my job as a lawyer to do this instead.
Appropriate considering the shirts from White Squall 7. Do you consider yourself blog boys? In the spirit of it, yes. In the technical matters, probably not. I mean, neither of us has had a blog in a long time. I haven't had a blog since 08? 09?
I'll have to ask if I ever see KD again. I'll have to ask him whether I count or not, because I mean, he created the term. He probably would say yes.
That's why I said with the spirit. I'm pretty confident that I would.
Yeah, I mean, he invented the term, so.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to be back here in a moment. Who is Jimmy Dykes?
I think they're doing a college pro crossover thing, and I think he's a college.
Oh, is he like a former college coach?
That seems possible. Oh, we can do that one quickly. Do you think Carmelo Anthony is on a team next year? Yeah, I do. I do think that he's on a team next year. I don't know what.
Where were you publishing before Real Gym? Was that Vegan Fish Tacos?
It was Vegan Fish.
So I never realized that you had other people working with you at the same. Like,
working. It was three college friends starting a blog. Yeah, the overall blog got written up by Kevin Arnovitz as not just my stuff for basketball, just like all of our overall.
What
content.
other stuff was there?
My friend Raheem was doing. He was doing like policy stuff, like transit policy and everything else. He now and then a friend Derek was doing.
God, did he just like banging his head against a brick wall or what?
Yes, to an extent. But yeah, so we went all over the board. It was a pretty fun site. I don't know if it's still accessible, but I think all my old draft stuff is still around somewhere. I've never taken any of it down.
All right, back to basketball here. Nuggets need to right the ship after that 25-6 Lakers run to end the half. Dwight Howard starting the second half, interestingly enough. I think this is a change they've needed to make. He's better than JaVale McGee. LeBron off of 2 screens. Jokic out on the floor. Kick ball will stay here as Craig got it with his foot in the air. And that was a legitimate kick ball call. But you see, Lakers haven't run a lot of pick and roll. You see what happens when they do is Jokic gets up there to the level of the ball, because if you have someone coming downhill at Jokic when he's waiting under the rim, he can't affect them. So that's why he has to get out there. But that obviously leaves openings, especially on the backside. Here's the front. Good job by Craig. Jokic came over for the help that time to knock it away. Murray stopped by Bradley. Here's the drive by Harris into Dwight Howard. Could not draw the foul and took a bad shot as a result. Early screen. Danny Green. Late close from Jokic. And I mean, that right there is just beautiful from LeBron James and Danny Green. Danny Green to see, if I run down the right side, there's nobody here to guard me, and to go right behind LeBron. Danny Green has a great knack for those cuts to get open. Howard knocks it away from Jokic. Now Jokic backing in on him. Help comes from Bradley. Repost, late clock. Jokic is going to have to fade away off a 1 foot high arcer. Almost goes.
And a great job of knowing the situation there by Howard. Just contest the hell out of the shot because Jokic has to shoot it.
LeBron off the screen. Jokic lays back. Good job by Craig getting back onto James. Now the right-handed drive. Oh!
Woo!
And once again, Danny, absolutely less than zero reaction by Nikola Jokic on that drive.
Yeah, LeBron James isolating against Torrey Craig and Nikola Jokic with Dwight Howard there does nothing.
I mean, it's not even like he turned his head. He's just staring at him and never moves. Harris attacking Howard. Now Craig cut off nicely by James. Nothing going on this possession so far. Murray going to try an ISO on Danny Green. Cut off. Backs in. Tries to go to the tough fader over Green and hits. Nice right shoulder fadeaway from Murray. But that's a shot that the Lakers will take here. They are carving up the Nuggets right now. James wants the screen from Howard. Now they enter it to the block instead. Bradley is open. They go under on him. His three, not there. Lakers are back, but Murray snakes through two guys, stopped, and they are going to get the foul, but Murray looked like he might have. No, I think he's okay.
Well, and
yeah,
Jeremy Grant did something I genuinely love there. He didn't have a great line to grab the rebound for himself, so he tipped it to where a teammate could go and keyed the fast break.
So how is this not a travel? Watch this right foot of Murray. That has to be a travel there. Look at this. Like, and he did get fouled afterwards, but he tries to stop and his foot slides a whole 8 inches. Ball don't lie, Danny.
Yeah. And the missed free throw contagion has spread from the Lakers to the Nuggets, though the Nuggets that makes them 6 of 8 from the free throw line compared to the Lakers 4 of 9.
Second free throw does go down. 8-point Laker lead. LeBron just sprints up and takes a three. Missed it, though. Green almost knocked it away from Jokic, but Murray pushing it up. Jokic screening for Murray. Jeremy Grant's three, and he hits that. And they're okay with that. That was a nice exchange, though, between Craig and Grant to just, as the pick and roll took place, to confuse the defense just enough so Grant could get open. Here's Davis off a screen from Howard. Couldn't get a great look. Anthony Davis, the one part of his game that has not been good this year is the jump shot. Grant on the drive goes into Davis. Clear blocking foul. Davis was not really... He really just didn't get in a position. He just thought that Grant wasn't going to attack. Good job.
He stopped moving his feet and then kind of leaned in like he was going to take a charge, but you can't move in that sequence and get a charge call.
Well, it all started, too, with just he wasn't in a stance when Grant caught the ball. He just thought, he's going to back it out, and Grant did a good job of recognizing that he could attack to that strong right hand.
And I mean, the feel for me of this after the Lakers figured out some ways to attack the Nuggets in the half court is that they'll pull away. But I mean, the Nuggets still sticking around, still fighting through this.
Yeah, it looked like the Lakers could blow it open. Nuggets have responded. Danny Green brings it up. They want to get LeBron in the post here. They'll go to this, I think, a lot of times when they're really trying to stabilize things. Jokic coming over on the double. Oh, what a pass from LeBron, but Howard just couldn't handle it. I mean, the timing on that pass was unbelievable. Murray switched onto by Howard. Howard trying to influence him to his left hand. Murray goes down, and are they going to get a foul here, or is it just...
No, it's just...
No, just Nuggets ball?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like Murray kind of got hit in the neck. Didn't catch what happened to him exactly. Appears to be okay, however. I mean, back to that pass from LeBron on the other side, though. I mean, he throws the pass before Jokic has even gotten there on the double team and before the guy can get inside of Howard to take that away. Does look like Murray is in a little bit of difficulty here with that neck. Nice job by Danny Green. Wouldn't even let Harris come off the screen. But Jokic pops out on Howard and hits it. It'll be a timeout from Frank Vogel as Denver has tied it here with an 8-0 run.
And I believe that's Jokic's second made three of the game. Might be his third. See if we have any questions.
How do you pronounce NASA? Fantastic. Oh, can we adjust the camera a little bit? Yeah, maybe. Would you say Nerlens Noel, Jaleel Okafor, or Mo Bamba is better right now? Probably Nerlens.
Yeah, I would say Nerlens. And I don't think. Oh. Which star in the league has the biggest discrepancy between their value as a ceiling raiser and versus floor raiser in either direction? So basically, like, I mean, part of me thinks that my first instinct was Kawhi, because of some of the availability stuff during the season, and also the value, the intense value in the playoffs of being able having somebody who can just get his shot. So that's pretty big ceiling raising activity. So
I mean, I think actually ceiling raiser to me would be Draymond Green. He is a big ceiling raiser.
Does he count as a star?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I mean, he's a big ceiling raiser, but as we've seen this year with the Warriors, he does very little to raise a team's floor.
Unless they have earned a certain level of quality. Yeah, that's a good call. If we're counting him. I was thinking more of those top 7 guys, or so. If JaVale is unplayable in the second half, how would you restructure the rotation for when Dwight sits? I think you can still play. You could still play JaVale in those minutes. Like when Jokic is out, I don't think there's anybody who's gonna like Vonleh is not going to be a huge problem there. And then also having him as a backup means that JaVale can generally play smaller stints, and that's good for his asthma. So it should be okay. Do I want to see what I wrote about Kyle Singler as a draft prospect? No. Well, what happened with Singler was I was high on him. I really liked his passing ability for his size.
When he looked like he was going to be a starter
when he was a high school prospect.
Yeah.
And then he is one of a couple of guys who I turned on before they were drafted. So in some ways that looks better. So it's like there's some bad tape out there from me about Kyle Singler, but then it was superseded by better takes. So it's like, okay.
I mean, he outperformed his draft slot ultimately, didn't he?
Yeah, and I mean, if he hadn't like just fallen off a cliff after he got traded to the Thunder.
Yeah, I mean, or fallen into like a fracking hole or something. Whatever. I don't think there are cliffs in Oklahoma City, but like some sort of calamity happened to him. All right, we're back here. These Nuggets, I mean, they've had some massive runs in very little amount of time. An 8-0 run in a minute as LeBron attacks off the pick and roll. And you see what happens with Jokic there. If he doesn't step up there, then LeBron just gets a runway to go right at him. That's why they have that pick and roll scheme that they usually do. Here's Murray turning the corner, leaves it for Craig, who is not ready for the pass. Jokic on the drive, floats it up, and man,
that touch.
It's just so good.
And Anthony Davis did a really nice job there in the initial possession of being in two places at once Grant didn't move it quickly, but they still got a good shot.
So Lakers looks like they're going to run the same play again here. 2 screens for LeBron and then the handoff. Howard is open. Nice job by Jokic that time. And they changed up what they did. They brought Jokic further up and then he got the deflection. Jokic looking to attack. Now hands off. Harris turns to his right hand. I saw someone did a diagram of like guys' drive directions.
That pass was insane.
Oh, baby. Now that shot was less insane. I mean, at least less good insane.
Like, as technical difficulty, that was one of the best passes I've seen this season.
Yeah, someone did a chart of like drive directions, and Gary Harris drives right as Howard gets in for the dunk on Craig. Gary Harris drives right all the time because they bring him out of that corner to hand off to Jokic, and then he goes to his right hand into the lane. So you see that all the time, that DHO out of the corner, and that's how he goes to his right
It's a
handle.
shame they're probably not going to show that Jokic pass again because the layup got blown, but that was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, and LeBron in the post against Jamal Murray, they have to double team. It does appear, Danny, like their scheme is to have the big double from the baseline rather than from the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Lakers taking a 3-point advantage. Howard has been outstanding. Backdoor Harris beats Danny Green. Danny Green was not ready. He turned his head on Murray to go dig in, and Harris with a very smart cut. If your guy goes to help, cut right away. Davis, with his first real touch in the scoring area, bricks the jump shot. Rebound Harris. Ahead to Grant. He's going to try LeBron here. LeBron tries to draw the charge, and that is not a good call to me. He's not really in his path there. Like, Grant's path is not going towards the rim. His path is basically going towards the opposite corner across the lane. And so LeBron really is between him and the basket, but that wasn't really the direction that Grant is going. Same set again for the Lakers. That time they take it away. Deep post from Howard. Hacked from behind by Grant. Lakers' third time now in the last 4 possessions, I think, that they've run that set for LeBron. If I'm Denver, I think I'd try to really pressure up on the guard who's bringing the ball up because whoever it is can't really dribble. And you can take him out of the set a little bit that way.
Yeah, that could be a use for maybe for Gary Harris.
Howard's jumper goes, or jumper. Yeah, basically is a jumper, right? Is from the free throw line, well behind it, I should say.
From Nick Van Exel range.
Best Lakers buyout choice between J.R. Waiters and Tyler Johnson. I like Waiters, actually.
Yeah.
I think he's the best defensive option of those guys. And he can actually, like, drive and kick. One other guy can actually run a pick and roll on this team. Might be useful. They go under on Craig. Not a threat to shoot that off the drill. Howard knocks it away from Jokic once more. 6 on the clock.
Well, the other concern is, like, for the Suns to cut Tyler Johnson, I mean, considering I think they're still thinking they could make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like,
that 3-game road trip through the East where they lost all 3 might be curtains for them, but
maybe. But I don't think
I mean they may not see it, yeah. Jokic. Oh, nice cut by Murray. Avery Bradley was 10 feet behind him. Just completely fell asleep. I think Bradley just assumed, as he'll now get a 3 to make up for it on the other end, more transition from the Lakers. But I think Bradley just assumed that time was going to run out on the shot clock, and it was a great cut for Murray. Murray back to goal. Screen from Harris. Screen coming from Jokic. He rejects it. Nice job by Howard, but he didn't stay with him, and Murray sticks that mid-ranger. Jamal Murray has had the touch tonight, as he has over the last 4 games before this one.
Yeah. 7 for 12 from the field from Jamal Murray. A lot from 2.
So quick screen. Repost here. Murray commits the foul over the back of LeBron. And I mean, that's another thing they've gotten some mileage out of is just going at Jamal Murray, getting LeBron into the post. I mean, have they had a single play where getting LeBron into the post hasn't resulted in a good look tonight?
I can't think of any.
I mean, I think he took like 1 fade away along the baseline that wasn't amazing.
And so this is going to be a big stretch here. The Lakers were shockingly successful in the non-LeBron minutes, especially in the second quarter, but there is the predictive value of that is not necessarily super high, especially when we've seen Dwight Howard's role shift.
Well, you know the other thing that happened to start that Lakers run? Caruso replaced Rondo. And now Caruso is not in. Rondo is to run the show. Pick and roll. Davis drops it off. Howard, and he's fouled.
Well, and again, Nikola Jokic not exactly providing much deterrence around that.
I mean, at least that time he tried, though. Like,
Yeah,
he at least moved and jumped that time.
High bar.
How many fouls is he on?
That is Jokic's, I believe that's his 3rd.
Yeah, so, I mean, he has had an excellent offensive game.
Absolutely.
20 points, 9 of 13, 2 of 2 from downtown. What's Dwight shooting from the foul line this year? And nobody has gone to like the hack on him yet.
Do you want to make a guess?
56%.
I was going to say 62. Oh, 47.
Yeah, you might want to move closer.
I mean, he's molten in this one. 5 of 7 from the free throw line.
Same set for the Nuggets. Bradley tries to direct the ball, ultimately can't. Murray, oh, he's intercepted by KCP. Great play by KCP coming off of Monte Morris to steal that pass to the corner. Davis, pick and roll Rondo. They go under on Rondo, into the lane, has to hand off to Howard. No spacing there. Howard into the post. Spin move on Jokic. I thought Jokic fouled him, and they are going to give it to him. That's number 4 on Nikola Jokic. Big play there. And again, Jokic, you can't afford that. You can't come down with that arm and slap down on Howard. And that's a foul. He's got him with the left arm. Absolutely. Good call. And they might have waited, and that's what they're all upset about, but he fouled him. I mean, he fouls him there by shoving him with 2 arms, too, as he's facing up.
And so now Mike Malone faces the question of how long does he pull Jokic and how long does he come out?
The answer is
he taking him out
immediately.
But what would you? If you were in Malone's shoes, what would you do?
He can pick them up a bunch. He's one of the few guys I just don't trust him. This is around the time he would come out anyway.
Well, especially when he slammed the ball after the foul, it's he can get frustration fouls so easily.
Yeah, he just picked up 2 in a row. I think it's fine to take him out. I might bring him in a little bit earlier now in the 4th.
Yeah, I would.
But the foul actually pays off as Howard has now missed his last 3 from the line. Millsap has come on. Murray into the lane, switched on to by Davis. They want to post up Millsap, but no time for that. They're going to have to just jack something up. Grant does so over Rondo. It's off. Millsap, lucky not to be called for a foul against Bradley, but Lakers control the rebound anyway. Rondo, and now they're going to get an offensive foul on Howard, backing in to Grant. And yeah, he
gave him an arm. That's the right call.
He extended the forearm, and he did it near the head area as well.
Which is probably why there was an even easier call for the officials.
Absolutely. Monte Morris is in. He played well in the first half. Pick and roll. Out to Millsap. He'll drive on Davis. Cut off easily. Out to the corner. Grant Kuzma, who was terrible in the first half, and he's beaten again. Did not close out to that strong right hand of Grant. Rondo, nice lob into AD, and it'll be on the floor, but Lakers well into the bonus here, and they'll shoot 2 free throws.
And these will be Davis's 4th and 5th free throws, but amazingly, he's 1 for 3 from the line.
Yeah. I mean, just look at Grant. I mean, that's a great finish over a good shot blocker in AD, but he just goes right through to Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah. And Kuzma's role, I mean, he can be evaluated in different ways depending on stake as a prospect, how he can grow. And remember, he did play at Utah for 4 years. But his role on a really good team and his viability as a playoff player, I think, are going to come into stark relief in 2.5 months, probably, let's say.
Why are they playing Murray on LeBron? He's getting switched onto him on those transition drag screens.
Yeah.
So that's not the initial matchup. Good job by KCP preventing Murray from going off. Then Davis switches onto the back cut nicely. There's a pretty switchable group now to switch against for the Nuggets. Millsap going at KCP, throws it away. Murray from the back court.
Well, it's over and back. If it's
Yeah, I was just hoping he was going to hit the rim, though.
It would have been fun. Alas. And so I believe the Lakers have been even in the time since LeBron sat. I think they had a 2-point lead when he went to the bench.
Davis at the elbow. LeBron screening for, or I'm sorry, Rondo screening for Kuzma, and Kuzma misses the shot along the left wing. Dozier has some ball handling ability, not the greatest shooter in the world. Here's a post up against Rondo. Rondo, I mean, you just know, every time that Rajon Rondo is just going to do that give up Matador reach around. Now he throws a ridiculous alley oop.
And the pass there was good, but the catch radius by Davis makes that possible.
And the recognition from Rondo to know that that's Monte Morris on the back line of defense, and he's just you're like, oh, there's a guy there, he's in position to stop it, but AD has a foot on the guy, and to recognize that is fantastic. Nice fader again. Murray has had the touch from mid-range.
His 2-point jump shots in this game have been really impressive, including over some strong contests.
Rondo behind the back. Davis going at Grant, tries to draw the foul, cannot. Here's Millsap looking to push it up, 3-on-4, but he's got Murray behind him. Pass was behind him, though. He could have had an open three. Millsap, he wants them to swing the ball to the opposite side. We can post up Kuzma. Instead, just an easy blow-by Murray. Jamal Murray has just been so smooth tonight. 20 points and 8 assists.
Yeah, and he's 9 of 15 from the field with only 2 turnovers.
They switch again. Murray is now on Davis. They switch behind the play. That leaves Murray on Kuzma. Kuzma tries to draw the foul. God, he's been awful tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's earned a lot of that negative 15.
And Murray again with the drive. Rondo just zero resistance. A highway to the rim for Jamal Murray in these last couple of possessions.
And this is looking more like the non-LeBron Lakers that we've seen. Mentioned before that they have it's like a -5 net rating when LeBron's not on the floor overall for the season.
Do you not mind announcing the scores a little more? Yeah, sure, we could do that.
Yeah.
I maybe you can do that, Danny, because I always get lost in like the play-to-play minutia.
Do you think the Lakers will make the finals?
No.
I think the Clippers are better, and then you have the risk of injury or just variance. I would say it's lower than 50%.
I might even pick the Rockets over them. I mean, we'll see. The Rockets. This may just not work for them. I mean, we got to see more of what this whole small ball thing looks like. I don't know. I mean, LeBron is just unbelievable in this kind of controlling the game mode, ton of assists, just like directing traffic, outthinking everybody. But I think when the time comes for him to really have to score against guys that are locked in to stop him, I don't know if he can do that anymore.
Though there aren't that many guys in the top end of the West that fit that description.
Yeah.
Which is
and then you throw in, who do they have on this team that's going to guard Kawhi other than LeBron? I mean, he can't do all of these.
And even though the non-LeBron minutes will be fewer and further between, if there's no one on the horizon unless they get some really good buyout guy that can solve some of those woes. I mean, Rondo's not that guy. I don't think Caruso's that guy. So LeBron he's not going to play 48 in the first and second rounds. So yeah, I mean, I like some of what a fair amount of what they've done. I think they're gonna have the top seed in the West, but I'm not giving them over a 50% chance of making the finals, not right now.
All right, real quickly, last time we can tell you about bookies.com, our sponsor for today. Give you great information on what the lines are. You can compare around, find the line that you are looking for. You can also click through to their excellent deals for legal sports betting in your state if you are lucky enough to live in such a state. What else can we tell the people about bookies.com?
Expert analysis. Adam Thompson's pick for this game was the Nuggets. They're 2.5-point underdogs. At times that hasn't looked great, but they're ahead right now, and it'll be interesting to see where that goes moving forward. But they have those for pretty regularly, so that's a fun thing that you can check out. And they always, and I really like the accountability that bookies they put down the one loss percentages for these people, so you can see if they've done a good job overall. You can track it for yourself, and since they are about information, it makes total sense that they would do that. So bookies.com/NBA for the live updating lines, and follow at bookies on Twitter. And sometimes they also do a cool job of packaging up our analysis. You and I are not particularly great at turning what we do into advice for wagering, but they are, and that's fantastic.
All right, we're back here. Jamal Murray has had, I think he's 4 for his last 4 at least. Surprising, actually, Danny, that the Lakers have fallen off after Rondo came back in. LeBron is back, though. He tries to go hard at Millsap, and Millsap does a nice job on him. Throw it ahead. Morris into KCP, and KCP's called for a foul. I don't know if I agree with this call. Let's get another look at it here.
His left arm went down. I don't think he got all ball.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where you got to see the angle that he jumped at, which you can't really get a good look at there. If he kind of jumped into the path of Morris, then I think it's a good call.
And Morris had a big first half. He hasn't really done a ton so far in the second, but he'll have an opportunity here. This is the first free throw. And, I mean, so right now, after their win tonight, Memphis, not only are they 3 games ahead in the win column over the Blazers, they're 5 ahead in the loss column. And that's important.
Yeah, have those... I think that's the first time those teams have played this
Correct.
year. There's 2 more they're both in Portland. So they only play each other 3 times. The Blazers can still win the season series. Rondo, they go under on him. Misses. He has shot it well. He had that big game against the Suns earlier in the week. I think he had like 23 points in that game. Vonleh is back for the Nuggets as well. Morris actually had him on an alley-oop but missed him. Here's Millsap going at KCP. Nice help came that time from Rondo. Here's LeBron. That sick left to right spin move. And he does that with such power. Like, whenever I do a spin move, granted, I'm not LeBron James. If I get bumped, I can get knocked off balance. He goes through Noah Vonleh, who's a pretty big guy on that spin move. Here's Morris. Gets the 2-for-1 with a big shot. They're going to call that a 2-pointer, but 5-second differentially, preserving another chance for Denver. Now, LA is going to want to really run this down because they can probably prevent another good shot from Denver. Here's Rondo on the drive. Way too early. He scored, but that's still way too early. And now Denver will get a nice look at it here at the end.
Maybe at Rondo's expense.
Vonleh setting the screen. Murray snakes it. Wide open look over JaVale. And we'll go into the fourth quarter. Denver, 3-point lead.
Leading scorer, Jamal Murray, 22 points, 10 of 17 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3, so he's doing all the damage from 2, and we can pull up the shot chart. Most of it, I think, has been from mid-range. Also has 8 assists and 2 turnovers. Leading scorer for the Lakers is a split between Anthony Davis and LeBron James. Surprise, surprise.
Can I read you Andrew Wiggins' stat line tonight, Danny?
I think I saw it on Twitter at one point, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, 27 points, plus 9 in a 6-point loss. 4 blocked shots, 2 steals. That's got to be like, and he had 5 steals in that first game against
debut.
the Lakers. 9 of 14, 3 of 4 from 3, 6 of 6 from the foul line in 34 minutes. Wow. Pretty good. I mean, I need to go back and watch some film of that game to see whether it actually was that good. But yeah, I mean, he's had 2 good games out of 3. He had his first half against Miami was atrocious. That was like the old Wiggins from an effort standpoint. But the second half against Miami was solid, and he had a 15-point third quarter, and he hasn't really been inefficient in any of these games. He was 8 of 12 in that first game, 9 of 14 in this one.
Here's a question we can do quickly. Who should replace Damian Lillard in the All-Star game? Devin Booker. Should have been in there in the first place. Easy replacement.
I think, depending on your criteria, you could maybe say Paul George just because he's better than Booker, but he has missed a lot of times. I think either George or Booker would be my it'd be interesting. I mean, the commissioner just decides this, right? Who do you think he's going to pick? Probably Booker.
Probably Booker.
And Paul, like, it's just it would mean so much.
Zach LaVine.
Yeah, it would mean so much to Phoenix, I'm sure.
And Paul George might just want
and
time
also
off.
they need another guard too. George might be considered a forward. Lillard also said they should pick Booker. I don't know that he gets that much of a say, but
Did you see Parasite? I have not seen it yet. I want to though. I will at some point.
Yeah, I'll have to
During the season is so hard.
yeah. I mean, and more so just because I'm like, I watch so much TV and I sit on the couch so much that once I'm like done with that, I don't really want to like lock in on like a movie for just sit there for another 2 hours. But maybe I'll do it over the All-Star break. Ashton will probably want to watch it. But I will admit I had not even heard of it until it won Best Picture. That's how out of it I am.
Somebody said Booker has been better than Beal. They've been close this year, but worth mentioning, if this is in the All-Star context, Bradley Beal is not eligible to replace Damian Lillard because we still have conferences. I believe conferences should be abolished in the All-Star game, but they do still exist. I also believe conferences should be abolished, period, but that's a different point.
All right, we're back here. Okay, good look at the Nuggets coaching staff in the background. David Adelman, Rick Adelman's son, is on the Nuggets staff.
They're showing a lot of this. Here we go. Three-point margin as we start the fourth quarter, 87-84.
Here's Vonleh closed down by McGee, and what are we going to get here? A foul on that drive by.
And I get to
Vonleh?
make one of my favorite points. Early quarter fouls in the fourth quarter because the players who commit those fouls are usually not on the floor for crunch time, and it can be a big problem. JaVale McGee among them.
No, I mean, that's a big reason why reserves a lot of times would probably have like a little bit worse plus minus than they do. Or I should say that plus minus understates how bad reserves are sometimes. There's Dozier. Man, he's not a good shooter. Kuzma closed down at half court, has to pick up his dribble. Rondo, pick and roll with JaVale. They'll just switch this. Rondo wants to get it to James. He tells Kuzma to go through. Now they post up McGee on Millsap. Not an advantage matchup. McGee's going to have to shoot this. Oh, and they get a foul. I think Vonleh held LeBron on the cut.
And so even though LeBron never touched the ball in the half court, still ends up creating positive value.
Yeah, that's absolutely what happened. Vonleh just put his arms out and held LeBron. Now LeBron gets it. He'll just take the three off the screen, misses, and JaVale will pick up the foul. So we've seen three non-shooting fouls, one by the Nuggets, two by the Lakers so far here. Yeah, fouls in the fourth quarter. That is something that has got to drive coaches insane. Vonleh, Millsap, no real advantage again there. Nice denial by KCP on Craig. They'll switch this with Morris. Now Millsap going right at Kuzma. Draws a foul.
And Kuzma's complaining that was an absolute foul. He was moving his body and bumped Millsap.
Yeah,
as he was
no, he did. He tries. See, and the reason that foul took place is because so much of strength is, can you just hold your position without like really having to surge forward? And Kuzma can't do that, right? Like if you have to be able to play defense, move your feet, and have the confidence that if the guy bumps into you, that you're not going to get knocked backwards 10 feet the way Kuzma does. And so on that play, Kuzma is like, no, I'm not going to let him knock me backwards. But then you surge forward into the guy and you commit the foul.
And that's the third foul by the Lakers already in the first minute plus of this quarter.
LeBron in the post. Good things happen when he's in the post. KCP, nice job by Morris. That's not a good shot from KCP at all. That was really more of a shooting set that they're running here, but we're going to stay here. Yet another. Anyway.
It's the dream. That's five fouls in the first minute 20 of a fourth quarter, so we're going to see.
And did LeBron try a header and then, like, there's a reason you shouldn't head a basketball.
There are many reasons you shouldn't head a basketball.
And one of them is that it hurts your head.
That is the primary reason.
Rondo was not guarded by Craig. Now they're back at the elbow off of Rondo again, and LeBron misses. He can't drive with Rondo on the floor because his man is standing at the elbow. Here's Vonleh. Good decision. Drive from Morris. No, nice close down by Rondo that time. Millsap has the size advantage on KCP. Baseline, tries to draw the foul, goes through him, missed layup. LeBron keeps it alive beautifully. Millsap got away with the push-up. Now LeBron pushing it hard. He's got KCP in the corner. Instead, draws the foul and hits the layup.
And Millsap was behind the play. That's why he went for the reach, but not having him back was what made it LeBron even more confident that he could get through just Torrey Craig to get a bucket there.
Yeah, and the guy in the LeBron jersey in the background, I appreciate you repping your team. I can't do the collared shirt, button-down shirt under the jersey. It's just if you have an undershirt on, bring another shirt, change. It's just not going to work, man.
I think that's a fair criticism.
Like, it was bad enough when people would wear like the collared shirt under, like the Warriors t-shirts in the playoffs, the playoff t-shirts, but then doing it with the basketball jersey.
I'm generally okay with doing it over anything other than a jersey, but jersey's bad. Can you explain more the issue with fourth quarter fouls? Absolutely. When a team, basically the biggest consequence of a team getting into the penalty, what we call the bonus, whichever, either way, is that non-shooting fouls become free throws and become stoppages and everything else. And so in a fourth quarter, then that allows another team to get reliable offense where maybe they would not have before. It also allows so if you commit one of those fouls, you're then facing a half court, a set defense every single time. So it can swing a few possessions in a fourth quarter. And since the players who commit those fouls do not suffer the consequences when they're on the floor, sometimes they're just too aggressive. And sometimes that's also why they're backups. And why the fourth is interesting, paralleling the second, is that it's your backups that are on the floor to start the quarter and your best players who are on the floor to finish it in the higher leverage minutes.
Worth noting that Malone is actually going to challenge that and one, saying that LeBron pushed off. I don't think that's going to be successful. I mean, nothing really stuck out to me. I didn't look at the replay that closely, but
yeah, I mean, it to me, the types of things that you challenge are where it's not really as much of a judgment call, or it's just such an impactful swing that you do it anyway. And I don't think this is either of those, because LeBron, I mean, so. It was Torrey Craig that committed the foul. That was his fourth, so I guess that does.
It might be. Yeah, I guess it's up to date, right? So it is his fourth. Yeah,
and then LeBron only has one. So if you switch that, then he has two. LeBron doesn't foul out of a game unless it's against.
I mean, it's high leverage. I mean, you wipe 3 points off the board and
that's true.
Get a turnover. I mean, you're in the fourth quarter. You might not have a chance to do it again. But it
doesn't
seem like the type.
That Vogel basically can't challenge anything because he only has 2 timeouts left. He's had 2 timeouts left since like partway through the third. Or like maybe late third.
Yeah.
Because of all the.
Well, I mean, he can. He just.
Well,
I guess they have one more automatic to go still.
I would think so. Yeah.
So he's actually going to be left with 1 timeout down the end. Catch up just on some of the stats here. Dwight Howard, 14 points, 4 of 4 from the field, 6 of 10 from the foul line. Does have 3 turnovers. He's plus 10 in 22 minutes. Alex Caruso, plus 13, 7 points in the first half in 9 minutes. 0 minutes in the second half. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Jamal Murray with his 22 points. He's on the bench right now. Jokic still on 20 on 9 of 13. So call upheld here. And LeBron hits the free throw to bring LA within 1. Dozier with a wedge screen for Millsap to bring him down to the block, but he's guarded by LeBron, so he gets out of there with the screen. They'll switch this. Now they want to post Millsap on KCP. JaVale McGee coming over to help. Now LeBron with the double. Cut from Morris. Spacing is not great, but Murray is open for 3, and they just lost him. Caruso that time just totally got fooled by that cut by Morris. I guess he had to take him though, so maybe I shouldn't.
I mean, I would have rather taken the floater by Monty Morris.
Here's KCP off a screen for a 3, and he's brought the Lakers within 1 once more. With Murray back in, Vogel going to Caruso to get a little more perimeter defense out there. Murray and Dozier just ran into each other. Vonleh at the foul line. He tries to rip through. He's stripped by LeBron, picked up by KCP, and LeBron's going to dunk this down for the Lakers' first lead in some time. KCP has been all over the passing lanes tonight. Gets another steal there after LeBron initially got the strip. No advantage gained on the first screen. Morris directing traffic. He wants Vonleh to come set a screen. 3 guys run over to the near side, but Murray gets past Caruso anyway. Throws it to Dozier. What a pass underneath! And LeBron is called for the foul on Vonleh. Dozier, you see how he just doesn't really have a place to be offensively, but that was a hell of a pass underneath to Vonleh.
And I talk sometimes about the importance of pass velocity. The speed of decisions can also be a really big value.
Oh, yeah.
Dozier there, just getting it out of his hands immediately, created those free throws.
Vonleh hitting the first. Originally number 9 pick of the Charlotte Hornets. Might have even still been the Bobcats technically at that time.
I think they were.
In 2014. I remember I was just doing some draft workup, and I said Vonleh was being talked about as a potential top 5 pick. And I said, no way this guy should go in the top 5. And I was writing for, I think it was Hoops World still at the time. And they were going to get an interview with him, and his agent canceled the interview because the interview wasn't with me. It was someone else who wrote. His agent canceled the interview after I wrote that piece.
And AD just hit a 3. I think that's his first made jump shot of the game.
Yeah. Talk about the game. Here's Millsap on the drive. Good help from Howard, and he rims it in. Paul Millsap, he's probably going to close this game out, you would think, over Grant, right?
Or they maybe close it with both of them.
He may be. Well, no, they're not going to do that because one of them has to play the 3.
Yeah, they might. We'll see.
I've got some money that they're not going to do that. If you want to bet on it. Here's Howard posting up, got deep post position, couldn't convert. He's had a couple of those now. Murray pushing it, gets past Caruso at Davis, floats it up. Dozier couldn't get the rebound. Murray couldn't get the foul. LeBron's going to get a dunk. And a timeout from Mike Malone as the Lakers have surged to a 3-point advantage. They'll have to weather one more LeBron absence here, but looking good for LA. Yet another fast break for the Lakers.
Do you want to do the question about proper attire to wear under a jersey?
Yeah, a regular t-shirt that doesn't have any writing on it and doesn't have like particularly tight sleeves.
And I think you have to have a specific build to make the no undershirt thing work. But if you have the confidence to pull it off, I'm okay with it.
I mean, it's one thing if it's like summertime and you're in flip-flops and you're going to the beach. If you're actually like going into an NBA arena,
an air-conditioned arena,
I think you need to have an undershirt on. I think like close quarters with the other fans, like letting your armpit hair flap in the breeze, like probably not something that you want to be doing. And most people also do not have the body for that. And you know, I think even the long sleeves, you can do it, but it kind of looks weird. I think you just wear a sweatshirt over it or something.
Yeah, and like I'm far more okay with, like somebody mentioned, like a hoodie. I'm far more okay with that than a dress shirt because a dress shirt just looks wrong.
Danny, are you jealous of MLB's proposed playoff format where the 1 seed gets to pick their opponent? Have you heard about this?
I have. That part of it I love. I've supported that for years. I actually wrote a piece for Real GM years ago advocating for it. The rest of their playoff proposal sounds real dumb, but that part's pretty good. Yeah, and the G League, I think it was then the D League, had tried it. It's one of my favorite just like small things that will make the league much more interesting, and it creates a more material advantage for teams with better records because you wouldn't get any of that nefarious like tanking to try to choose your opponent or any of that. It creates an incentive to try to have a good record. I love that.
How often are automatic timeouts? So there are 2 TV timeouts per quarter. One at the first stoppage under 7 minutes. The other one at the first stoppage under 3 minutes. But coaches can change that if when it is their timeout, they call it before.
Then it replaces that timeout.
Yeah, you get 7 timeouts, but you get them taken away automatically for the TV timeout. So it's something I need to refresh my memory on of like exactly what the order is of like who gets the automatic timeout or not. But um, let's see here.
I love that. Maybe they saved Caruso so he could play the rest of the game. Oh, if only. If only.
It might happen.
It's possible.
Yeah, we're getting the LeBron driving through guys, the basket montage right now. This is good, man. We might get a close one here for a while. I'm liking the fact that we're not just talking about it, turning it off after a 20-point blowout.
Yeah.
So here is, looks like the aforementioned LeBron rest. Jokic, back screen for Grant. Now Murray completely denied by Caruso. He blew it up. Now he's still on his hip. Murray gets past him, though. Excellent ball handling. I thought he had the reverse, didn't take it. 1 on the clock. Murray jacks it. Rebound Jokic, though. He's back. Green bothering him. Jokic wanted a foul, didn't get it. Now he's got to get it at the elbow. No, instead it's Grant going through Caruso. No offensive foul. That was a surprise. I thought Caruso was there that time. I mean, I'm not in favor of guys fouling. So see, that time he actually is in his path. 1 point game now. Davis has returned. Caruso throws the pass behind KCP. Not a good decision from Alex Caruso that time.
And even if KCP had caught that pass, he didn't really have a place to go with it.
Yeah.
As the rule is called, I would have called that charge.
Morris trying to turn the corner. KCP just cuts him off. Now he switches on to Murray. Murray can't beat him either. Has to pick up his dribble. Great defense. Now Howard switching on to Harris. Harris actually goes left. And we're going to get a blocking foul on Danny Green. Who would you close with here if you're the Lakers?
Braun and AD, KCP, Danny Green, and I think I'd go with a 5. I think.
Yeah, Howard.
I think Dwight's done a good job. But yeah, I'd have KCP as my smallest player.
Yeah, Vogel not exactly giving LeBron a long rest here.
Yeah, I think that was about 80 seconds of game time.
So he'll play about 36 minutes. He's on 30 right now. Harris ties it. And for the Nuggets, who are you going to go with? They've got Harris at the 3 right now, so they're a little small on the perimeter. But I think maybe there's a thought that they need some more shooting and ball handling. But Craig is going to come to the table now. Here's Davis, back to goal against Grant. Tries to go through him, lost it. Morris looking to push it now. LeBron picks him up in transition. Morris swings it out to Jokic, but the pass was too slow for the pick-and-pop jumper. Instead, they switch sides. Murray, he's got Howard. Going to try and put him in the mix. No, he gets it to Jokic at the nail. 8 on the clock. Double comes from Howard. Jokic, Harris, catch and shoot, off. Good defensive possession there by the Lakers.
And LeBron looked for the long pass, but didn't have it there. Better defense by the Nuggets to make
Yeah, and there's that early transition drag screen, and Davis says, no, I'm not going to screen now. We're going to just go back to goal. Davis, catch and shoot 3 up top off the double. It was way off. And now Davis didn't get back. Neither did LeBron. Harris leaves it for Morris. Wide open, but it's way short. They're going to go just pick and roll here with LeBron and AD. Howard's on the opposite baseline. Davis just fumbles it again. Couldn't get a call. Howard still fighting on the glass. Hacked by Grant, but he missed the layup. He had a chance to put the Lakers up, and now he's going to have to earn it at the free throw line instead.
And he competed there. Jokic was kind of caught under the basket, couldn't get back under, so it was easy for Dwight to get that rebound. Before these free throws, the Lakers are 10 of 19 from the free throw line.
Oof.
The Nuggets are a comparatively strong 13 of 18. So both teams below 75%. Lakers actually now, with that Dwight Howard miss, they're at 50%, 10 of 20. Yeesh.
That's bad.
And LeBron is a big culprit. He's 1 for 4, and then Dwight's about 50%. And as we said, he's about 50% for the season.
And these haven't been like terrible misses.
No, I wouldn't say so. No air balls.
But, I mean, has he missed his last 6 now?
He's missed 5 of 6.
Grant engages Howard, and now that leaves Davis on Jokic. 2-man game with Murray. Good pressure from Bradley. Oh, Murray broke his ankles, pulls back for the 3. Woohoo! Welcome in off the bench, Avery Bradley.
And it didn't seem like that was Jokic tripping him or anything. I think he just went down.
Yeah, Murray has hit his average now over the last few games. Bradley on the pick and pop. Jokic is there late. Misses, though. Jokic is ahead of the field, and Craig didn't look for him. Instead, it's a 2-on-1. Harris goes right at Bradley and scores. Wow. Very, very lazy transition defense. LeBron didn't get back. AD jogged back from the corner. And Frank Vogel needs time with it suddenly ballooning to a 6-point Denver advantage.
And now he only has one timeout left with 4:15 to go.
$1.5x podcast trim the silence. We actually trimmed the silence already before we actually post it. So everybody gets it. We're just so chock full of information. We realize it's not possible to listen to. I mean, when I trim the silence, it'll probably be, maybe like as much as 20% of the episode that gets eliminated.
Favorite Fred VanVleet fit? Toronto. I like him a lot there, especially with the defense that they've been able to maintain. And I don't think his price tag is going to get too ridiculous for them. It might, and we don't even know exactly how much they're going to need, what they're prioritizing for anything else.
Yeah, the problem is just if he has offers of 4 years, $80 million, are they going to go there with the Giannis hopes for the summer of 2021?
Yeah, it's possible.
I mean, they probably would still have it even then.
Well, I think they could move Powell and get there if it was that.
Yeah,
if it was that
or VanVleet might be tradable. Let's see how this season ends up too. I mean, if they make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, you probably want to re-sign the guy. All right, we're back here. AD in the post, and it now is they have gone to AD at center. KCP eludes Murray. Big shot. KCP's had a nice game.
He really has. 25 minutes. I think that makes him 9 points.
Here's Jokic blowing through Davis. Davis gets a hand on it. Jokic somehow fights it in, and they're going to wave it off for a jump ball. Jump ball, AD. What do you think of that call?
Let's see it from this angle.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think
he's got one hand on the ball, and Jokic. Well, see, if he jumps in the air and he has one hand on the ball like that, that usually is called a jump ball. Jokic is going to try and steal this tip. Doesn't have much room to tip it back, though. Oh, it's tipped forward instead. And that's a foul on Morris.
And that's free throws.
Yeah.
Non-shooting foul becoming free throws.
Yeah, Morris did not turn his head, and a pass interference is called. Yeah, AD did win the tip so quickly I couldn't even see that. And yeah, Morris was not looking back for the ball.
Face guarding. Are they reviewing this?
Clear path? Oh, God.
Well, we have time for a question or two.
Boring. Would Buddy Hield be a good get for Memphis?
I don't love it. I'd like I would like another guy on. I mean, as much as I love Ja with the
I mean,
ball in his
they've
hands.
got their starting two already. It's Dylan Brooks.
Right, and to me, the shooting that Hield conceptually brings is a benefit, but I'd like either more positional defensive versatility or somebody who can handle the ball a little bit, because I don't love Dylan Brooks doing that. So
Yeah.
just like one of those one of those
Well, they
ancillary
got
skills.
Winslow to handle the ball some
Yeah,
too.
if he looks good and can actually be on the court, then do that. But yeah, I don't love that as a fit. It's not terrible, but I don't love it.
Why does Denver keep winning games they trail in the second half? A big part of it is that Jokic has been ridiculous in the clutch. But generally, I would say they are not for real. They are, what, 4 points or 4 wins better than their point differential would indicate right now?
Yeah, I believe they are.
Their playoff performance last year, as Caruso only makes 1 out of 2, was not encouraging to me.
Well, they got beaten by the buzzsaw that is the Portland Trailblazers. They call it tech.
See if I can catch it here. Some, like, clock issue?
I would say this is downside of not having audio. Oh, is there maybe a fan issue? Anyway, we can cross that bridge when we get to it. Except that it might be another stoppage. Hooray.
Yeah, they keep winning these games. Peter notes. Yeah, it just, there isn't much indication that playing over and above what you normally would do in the clutch is sustainable. And especially when you're talking about in the playoffs, like a big part of their advantage is their depth, and that's a muted advantage in the playoffs. Here's Morris, finds Jokic on the roll, swings it quickly to Murray, closed by Bradley. 5 on the clock. Jokic has to create against Caruso, goes right through him. Oh, stop from behind by AD. What a reaction. And then Jokic is called for his 5th foul. Oh, you can come here. I'm sorry, sweetie. When I get excited, she gets a little skittish. We'll try and keep it a little more library in here.
And that's Jokic's 5th foul. So he's going to be even more cautious now. And I mean,
Yeah,
Jokic,
that's an over the backbreaker too.
it is another non-shooting foul that becomes free throws.
No, I mean you foretold it, Danny.
Every once in a while, the things I fixate on actually pay off.
6 straight points for LA now. And they've tied it at 103. AD has not done much here in the second half. Caruso bottling up Morris. Jokic as they work deeper into the clock again. Caruso with good help. Harris gets by him though. Oh, swallowed up by AD. AD is saying he knocked it off of Harris, but that is not what the referees agreed on. And Caruso, he helps out at the nail, takes away that drive from Murray. That's where he's very good, is as a help defender, kind of a Robert Covington of the point guard position. Kyle Lowry, not quite at that level. And now we're going to get a foul on Bradley trying to draw the charge, but his arm went down and he hit Murray. Yeah, if he just, like, trying to draw the charge there, like, there's 5 in the shot clock. You got him bottled up. He's not going to get a good shot there. Like, why go for a high risk play like falling down for a charge when you're in the advantage situation? Why even bring the referee's whistle into it? You've got him where you want him. (105, 103) Nuggets 303. Hey, it's the Denver area code. LeBron pick and roll. Goes at Grant. Goes through Grant. Easy layup to tie it at $105.
And Paul Millsap is not on the floor for this closing 5.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, he may be on a minutes limit, too, at this point. Here's Murray pick and roll with Jokic. We'll see a lot of that. Murray stepping back. Could not score it over Bradley. It rimmed out. Nice rebound by Caruso. Pick and roll, LeBron and AD again. Grant gets through. LeBron pulls the jumper. Not there. Rebounds his own miss. At Jokic. Around him. Tipped in by Davis.
And there, LeBron forced Jokic to react and help, and that gave Davis the angle to get the tip in.
Lakers back in the lead now. Pick and roll, Jokic and Murray. Gets a better screen that time. Davis switches onto him. They want to get Jokic in the post. LeBron, nice scram. And no foul is called. LeBron does not get called for fouls in that situation. Jokic, but I mean, that's his fault. He just felt some contact. He tried to throw up some crap. You rely on the referee's whistle, and that's the vagaries of it. Another pick and roll, LeBron and AD. AD, oh, nice cut. Caruso and LeBron, eyes in the back of his head, found him. Lakers by 4 with 1:43 left. Morris came out to take away the pick and pop from AD. Caruso cut right behind his own man, going to rotate, and LeBron dimes him up. Beautiful basketball. And we're seeing here that LeBron AD pick and roll with AD at the 5. The Nuggets have not had the answers for that.
No, they've consistently gotten good looks, and even when the shot hasn't gone in, they've had a guy there for a rebound.
Yeah, and Caruso able to go right over Jokic again without the rim protection.
Feels like Denver needed to trade a portion of their depth for another solid starter to be contenders. Those trades, like consolidation trades, are incredibly desirable, but they're also incredibly hard to find because what a team needs all of those types of players and has a starter to give. You know, like it's just it is a conception that has happened in the past, but not very often. It's harder to do than people think.
Well, especially if you're talking about a starter at the highest levels.
Right, and you're talking about, like, for Denver, most of their assets were young players already on the book. So it's like, is the team gonna have to try to manufacture a 4-for-1?
I mean, Porter is their last card to play. Are they going to play it, or are they going to just say, hey, Porter, we're just going to keep this together? Murray, Porter, and Jokic, and that's our core for a long time in the future. Jokic, AD has him. Jokic passes up the jumper. Now back to goal. Fighting in. AD is on him. Double team comes from KCP, and he hacked him on the arm. Good call. Yeah, Jokic, smart move there, went through the arm of KCP, and with Denver in the bonus, he'll get a couple of free throws to bring him within 2.
But we'll see if they actually make them. Missed free throws have been a huge story in this game. Makes the first. Yeah, and I mean, KCP, that's a pretty low reward reach in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're going to come down there, you make him pick up his dribble, you've kind of done your job at that point. I mean, he's coming off of Harris, who's struggled shooting. Sometimes you just, he's had some success in the passing lane. Sometimes you just have to trust the player's judgment, but it obviously didn't work out that time. 2 free throws from Jokic. What do you think they're going to do? High pick and roll again with AD and LeBron, perhaps? Spread the floor? LeBron. Oh, now he's got Jokic. Let's see if he gets a better shot here. No, they're just going to come double team with Craig. Crossover. LeBron blow by. Easy layup. And they didn't have the communication. Craig was in help position. Jokic didn't know where he was. Jokic could have sent him towards Craig at the nail. He did not do that. Great attack by LeBron. Nuggets desperately need a bucket here. LeBron with the scram. Oh, and Jokic was ready for it that time, as was Jeremy Grant. As soon as LeBron came to help off of Grant cut right underneath, and Jokic knew exactly what was happening. Just incredibly intelligent basketball. LeBron goes at Jokic again. He's got AD up top. Gets it to him. Three-pointer to ice it? No. Nuggets can tie here. Do they get the 2-for-1? They need to push it hard here. AD switching on to Murray.
It's not fast enough.
Nope, it's not. LeBron with the scram that time, and that time Caruso was on Grant underneath. They scrammed off of someone else. Here's Harris on the drive. Nice verticality. What a finish. Tie game at 111, and Vogel will get a timeout here. They did not get that 2-for-1, though, Danny, so the Lakers will have a chance to win it.
And here, one of the consequences of that is that now Denver gets to switch out their defensive personnel. If they had played that no timeout, then they would have.
Yeah, I mean that they should probably go Millsap at center.
Absolutely.
You're right. Now, you might say, hey, you want to get the timeout, make sure you run the time down, but
I think players know. I think LeBron James knows to run the time
figure
down.
that out, right? I mean, you got plenty of time. I agree with you. That's a bad,
I think,
a bad timeout.
I think coaches have too much love for their own play calling abilities there.
Yeah.
Especially considering they
because
basically
they're gonna
run the same thing.
Right. They're going to run an ISO here anyway because you have to run the time down all the way until the end.
Yeah, maybe you try to get a switch early, like with 8 or 6 or something like that, but then it's basically going to be one guy because that's how you can know that you're not going to shoot the shot too early.
Are the Bucks the most under-talked about best team? Not by us. I mean, we talked about them on the 15 and 60 as having one of the best defenses of all time right now and one of the best point differentials of all time.
Yeah.
And they're doing it while not even taking the regular season that seriously, right? Like Giannis playing 31 minutes.
Yeah, and partially benefiting from beating teams so thoroughly that they don't need Giannis.
Okay, Danny. More likely, LeBron step back to his left or any other outcome of this possession.
Ugh, LeBron step back to his left. I mean, that's the wheelhouse. He's gonna have the ball. That's what he wants to do.
Yeah, so he's got Grant on him. They did indeed get Jokic off the floor. Millsap is guarding Davis. Craig is going to look to help off Caruso. They're at the elbows here. LeBron just holding it. No pressure. I would have taken a shooter in instead of Caruso here, but they're going to try and pick and roll with 8 on the clock. LeBron has Craig forcing him to his right. They don't want that step back to the left. He takes the step back to his left, misses, and we're going to go into overtime. Was that maybe that wasn't quite a step back to his left? He was still going to his left. I think it counts. It counts. It counts.
A step over to his left is close enough. Tie goes to the runner.
That's why you guys watch this show. We can tell you exactly when it's coming. Oh, and for the cat, of course. We can't forget that.
MPJ hurt. Yeah, he has an ankle sprain, which I did not know before the game started and was very angry. But yeah, that's what happened. Want to see Miles Turner or Brook Lopez on the Rockets, a big man who can protect the rim and shoot threes? That would be interesting, but the problem is then they have to change their entire defensive philosophy because a switch-heavy scheme with Miles Turner and Brook Lopez isn't going to work the same. So this is I'm excited that we get to see basically the fullest possible test for this concept of the Rockets switching defense. This is the maximal Rockets, and I wish we've seen it at moments, of course, in the playoffs. But if they had that, then they'd be a very different team. Denver or Utah, who has the better chance to break up the Tinseltown Western Conference Finals this year? I would say Utah. I don't trust Denver's specific weakness defending power wings is a big, big problem. And while Royce O'Neal is not a savior, remember that they also have Rudy Gobert, who is at least can be a man in the middle to slow down some of these attacks. I also think Utah, to me, when they're actualized, I think they're a better team than the Nuggets. So I'm going to go there. Who made the overlay that you guys use on the Twitch stream? That is RT Hoops. You can check it out. Min does great work. I just want to make sure I get the URL correct.
rthoops.net.
rthoops.net is the URL there. Yeah, it's fantastic, and you can, if you see all that for there, then we get then you can do that for any game that's going on. It's something I use all the time myself, not when we're doing the show. If you were the Orlando GM, what would you do? And I guess one of the options is not go back in a time machine and not do what they did last offseason. It's so hard because they just don't have a lot of flexibility. I would consider Aaron Gordon trades, but I'm not sure that I would necessarily make one because it doesn't seem like he's incredibly valued around the league. See what people, if anybody's interested in Vooch, kind of go in that direction. But yeah, it's so tough.
So Grant loses the tip, and we're going to go back to Dwight Howard at center now for the Lakers. Hands off to LeBron. His jumper is way off.
What do you put the odds at that Jokic is still available to play at the end of overtime?
with the 5 fouls.
Yeah.
No, I think he'll be there. Here's a nice back cut by Murray, and Caruso is saying that Murray just grabbed his arm and back cut him, and I didn't really see
I
that.
didn't see a grab, but we didn't have the great angle.
LeBron pick and roll Howard. Head of steam at Jokic. Layup. Curls it in. And Jokic, hopefully he's all right here. I didn't see what happened to him. Looks like he just kind of got run into by his own man after the play. But no, Jokic he's not going to foul out, I don't think. Unless if he does, he'll
Might be an offensive
He'll
foul.
commit like a loose ball foul or something.
Yeah, I think there's
he will.
a
It will
chance that
not
happens.
be on like a straight defensive possession.
I think it's gonna happen.
Jokic pick and roll Murray. Switched onto by Howard. Step back 3 with 4 on the clock is off. Nuggets playing very late into the clock right now. I mean, they have little to go to other than Murray and Jokic. LeBron again. Back out. Caruso on the drive. Right into the lane. Stopped by Craig nicely. Pass ahead is intercepted by KCP. Another steal for him. LeBron. He's got Davis on top. His 3 rattles in.
And that's Anthony Davis' second made three. He's 2 of 5 from long distance now. I think, but 1 in the fourth, 1 here.
Yeah, and we haven't had a stoppage here. These guys are going to be getting pretty tired in that mile-high air. Both coaches trying to save those 2 timeouts. Murray, nice pass to Jokic. Oh, intercepted by Davis. 2 Lakers go after it. 3 guys on the ground. Late clock. Harris is wide open.
And he makes the shot.
3.
I hope everybody's okay.
Yeah, it looks like LeBron is down here. Both he and Caruso went flying. And I couldn't see what happened to LeBron. He just collided with Caruso. It looks like he might have banged knees with him. Hopefully this isn't anything of particular note for him. Yeah, he's acting like he banged a knee. We'll catch the replay here in a second. Let's watch his right knee. Yeah, I think he just hit it on the ground. That's my hope, at least.
Yeah, didn't really get much of an angle on that. Hope he's okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a look at the replay, but it looks like he's going to stay in the game, so hopefully nothing too severe. Yeah, go.
Oh, you were going to ask the same question.
Yeah, has this game impacted your opinion of the Nuggets in any way? No, not really. The Lakers are actually a pretty good matchup for them overall, I would say, because the Lakers don't do a ton of like real spread pick and roll against the defense, and they've got Grant, they've got Millsap, they've got guys who can guard James reasonably well. Also, the Lakers would have won this if they had just made their free throws. LeBron switched onto by Grant. ISO, step back to his left coming. No, he drives. He's got Davis, who went all the way to the other side. And Davis, another catch and shoot 3. LeBron waved Davis away. He went all the way to the other side, and LeBron found him, knowing that there was help coming. Grant, not going to try Davis. Jokic looking for Murray. Backdoor cut off by Caruso very nicely. They're working late in the clock again. Jokic is going to have to go one-on-one. Tries to lean in. Awful. Good job by Howard not fouling, but that was an unconvincing shot fake. Jokic trying to create off the dribble with 5 on the clock facing up is not what you want if you're Denver. LeBron trying to get Craig on his back. Howard took too long to roll. These guys are pretty smoked right now. LeBron goes to the floater, and they'll get it.
Screen.
The illegal screen on Howard looks to make contact with the head.
I think it was his shoulder
of Craig. Yeah, and he did in fact step into him. Good call. He really lowered the shoulder into Craig.
And I think the Nuggets have only taken 1 shot outside of like the final 6 seconds of the shot clock, and that was the Gary Harris 3.
No, that was in the final 6 seconds.
Was it?
Yeah. Oh, hammer play. KCP shuts it down. Grant is open. Can't get it, though.
That was with 7. So that's more than 6.
Yeah, I mean, they just have to, like, they don't have anyone. If the Lakers are going to switch, they don't have anyone who can really be an amazing option against a good switch defender. So they just got to keep running around and running more and more handoffs, and it runs out the clock. LeBron, back to goal. He goes over his right shoulder. That's off, too. Lakers' crunch time offense devolving a little bit here.
Yeah, and they have before tonight. I think it's a 104 offensive rating. It's just their crunch time defense has been fabulous.
Murray engages Howard. They get the switch. Jokic trying to post up. Murray gets by him. Tries to float it. Great defense by Howard. AD looking to push it. No, they're pretty tired. They're going to slow it down. Lakers have a 3-point lead. And what do we got here? Foul on Grant going for the steal.
But I
AD,
don't think they're in the bonus.
Yeah. Yeah, AD was trying to get across the timeline, and Grant fouled him. So not the end of the world. These guys are exhausted.
Oh,
right
absolutely.
now. And when you see the guys get knocked down and they just want to lay there for a while, that's when you know. So Howard is out.
Yeah, I mean, look at some of these minute totals for a game that's been played in mile high. 41 for AD, 40 for LeBron, 43 for Jamal Murray.
So they replace Howard, and now Millsap is in defensively for Nikola Jokic. AD gets the screen from Caruso, who steps out for a three to ice it. Not there. Nice rebound by Grant. He goes down, and timeout is called by Malone. He wants to get Jokic back on the floor, and this will be an important 2-for-1. Good timeout here to advance the ball, give you plenty of time to get that 2-for-1.
Yeah. Plenty of time, though they didn't even come close to doing it at the end of regulation, and instead that's why LeBron got the chance to potentially hit a buzzer beater.
Oh, what adjustments would you guys have made to both teams' game plans tonight? I mean, just Denver doesn't have a ton of offensive options. I mean, I think
I'm playing Caruso over Rondo.
That's not really a game plan, but playing Caruso. I mean, it's so weird to bring a guy in for the first time with 9 minutes left in the second and fourth quarter, and then just play him the entire rest of the way. I mean, it really seems like, it's Rondo ego management at this point, and Avery Bradley ego management as well. I mean, I think more AD post-ups in the second half for the Lakers. Like, he was killing on those in the first half. And especially to maybe even go to him here with Jokic on 5 fouls. Might be something to consider. I mean, it's not their ball, obviously. But, just fewer LeBron, ISO, run the clock down stuff. They did do more pick and roll. Like, that looks better with the floor spread and without the center on the floor. It's AD at center. Yeah, Avery Bradley's been a lot better than he was last year, and he was one of the worst players in the NBA for the Clippers.
And that was better for the Grizzlies, which was so strange.
Yeah, for 10
a couple games.
Something. Jokic gets it in. Murray against Caruso into the lane. AD switches onto him. Then
Not fast enough.
Scrams underneath. Yeah, they just haven't had a look. LeBron, oh man, he is still a great post defender. Oh no, we're going to stay here. I guess LeBron hit Jokic
I think it was
in
left
the
elbow.
face. Yeah, he got him. He pushed off on him. Didn't even necessarily need to do that, but that is a foul. And Denver not in the bonus, however. They will be hard-pressed to get a 2-for-1. Probably want to go for a 3 here if you can.
And remember, because of that foul on Jeremy Grant had on Davis, the Lakers are in the bonus. So if they don't get a 3, then you foul right away. I guess you could try for a trap.
I mean, LeBron James still, when he really puts his mind to it, and the way he has scrammed guys out on Jokic, I mean, he's just a completely different player. Murray.
Got it.
Oh, they got him open. Oh, he didn't take it. He drives in instead. Oh, and it's intercepted again. KCP, what a game he's had. And they got a foul. What are they doing? They got a foul right now, and they do. Oh,
and Jokic turning down that shot.
Yeah, I mean, he had the shot over Caruso. That's the 3. It's not an ideal look. He's not like that high volume, quick trigger pick and pop grab. But I mean, he had that.
And when you're down 3, it's very different to turn that down for a drive than when you're down 2.
And how good has KCP been in the passing lanes tonight? How many? He's got to have like 4 or 5 steals.
He's credited with 4.
Yeah.
Almost Wiggins-esque.
Davis can put Denver into deep difficulty here with a free throw. Misses it. 4-point game, and they'll use their last timeout. So they got to get a 3 here.
Why do I feel like it's going to be a slow 2?
Well, here's their problem is, like, they don't have anyone who can, like, pull up for a 3 off the dribble. Like,
Michael
Murray,
Porter Jr. would probably be the guy.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've really missed him tonight.
Yeah.
Now, what would he look like defensively trying to guard LeBron? I mean, that's your problem, right? Like, everyone talks about him as being the future. Well, okay, so he's going to guard LeBron and Jokic will guard AD. I mean, that's like, if you're really serious about winning, that could be a pretty. They don't have enough shooting. They need one more guy who can create that shot. But, I mean, Murray, he's got kind of a low release. He's not really able to create that off the dribble 3-pointer. They're switching that enough to not give him space. They kind of, when he went on that run, Danny, in the third, that's when they kind of switched up to switch that pick and roll and then have James scram out to get Jokic when he would try to post up. And that's been pretty effective for the Lakers. So, I mean, maybe it's Jokic pick and pop here for the 3. He can be a little more aggressive with it. They've still got the same guys in. Grant, not really a great 3-point shooter, but they don't really have anyone else at that position who can shoot. They get into Jokic. He needs to just jack this. He does. Oh, in and out. LeBron rebounds, and we're done here. They do have to get it across half court.
They're
They
just
will do
conceding
so.
it.
And big win for the Lakers against a shorthanded Nuggets team that battled game lead, but it was really, I think, Denver ultimately didn't have a place to go offensively in the end.
Yeah, and the Lakers have had a really strong crunch time defensive rating. I'm guessing that got stronger in this one. I think it's like about 100, maybe like a 98 defensive rating, and they just stifled Denver's offense in the crunch time.
LeBron was excellent. AD was outstanding. KCP had those big steals.
Caruso, as a help defender, I thought really made a big difference.
Frank Vogel took Rondo and Kuzma out of the game. He did a great job. All right, thanks, guys, for staying up with us tonight. This was fun. And I don't think we know what our next game is going to be yet, but it's obviously going to be in 2 weeks here since we got the All-Star break next week. So everyone have a great All-Star break. We got a Patreon mailbag up for you, patreon.com/Duncan LaRue. If you don't subscribe to that, that's a great way to support both this program and, of course, to support our general efforts as well. And we'll talk to y'all in a couple weeks from now. We'll watch my Twitter at NateDuncanNBA, or you can bookmark that Google Doc we tweet out all the time. That gets updated as soon as we know what the game's going to be. Thanks again.